Beloved, hear me. This is no ordinary moment you have stepped into. The very air around you is charged, the heavens are leaning in, and the currents of infinite supply are stirring. You are standing in a rare alignment when the entire universe conspires to bring you into the full manifestation of your good. I tell you, nothing has happened by accident. The steps you took, the thoughts you entertained, the silent prayers you whispered in the night, they have all brought you here to this exact hour. You are in the perfect place, at the perfect time for the perfect blessing to unfold. The door to your abundance is open, and the only key required is your word, spoken in faith. Inspired by the eternal truths I have taught, that your word is your wand, that you can speak life into the barren places, I invite you now into a practice that will shift your consciousness, rearrange your outer world, and make the impossible inevitable. This is a mighty metaphysical prayer, and it is not for the faint-hearted. It is for the one who dares to stand in their divine authority and speak as one who knows. You are not here to hope timidly, you are here to decree boldly. The moment you decree, the law moves. The moment you speak, the invisible supply answers. The world may call it miraculous, I call it natural to the one who lives by spiritual law. Some may hear expecting large sums of money in 21 minutes and dismiss it as wishful thinking. But I tell you, in the realm of spirit, where the unseen is as real as the seen, such things are no more strange than the turning of the seasons. What seems incredible to the doubter becomes inevitable to the believer. And for the next 21 minutes, you are called to be that believer. You are called to shut the door on doubt, to silence the voice of limitation, and to step into the consciousness of one who already possesses the wealth they seek. This is not blind faith. It is conscious, informed, deliberate faith. It is faith grounded in the unchanging truth that thought, word, and feeling are the tools of creation. When you align these three, nothing is withheld from you. The prayer you are about to speak is not a mere collection of words, it is a spiritual act of law. You are aligning your whole being with the frequency of abundance, with the vibration of money already in motion toward you. You are connecting with the great river of prosperity that flows through all of creation, and in this moment you claim your rightful share. Treat this prayer as the golden key that unlocks the vaults of heaven. Treat it as the password to the bank of infinite supply. As you speak it, see the locks fall away, see the floodgates swing open, and prepare, truly prepare, to receive. For the universe is never withholding, it is always ready to pour out blessings to the measure you can accept. Your role is to make yourself a vessel large enough to hold the good you are asking for. In these 21 minutes, your focus is the channel. Keep your mind on abundance, not lack. Keep your heart on gratitude, not complaint. Visualize wealth in your hands, in your home, in your accounts. See it arriving in both expected and unexpected ways. Feel the joy of receiving it, the relief of provision, the freedom of overflow. And most importantly, feel the gratitude as though it is already done. Gratitude is the evidence that you believe. Gratitude is the signal to the universe that you are ready for more. This prayer is not an exercise in imagination, it is a transaction in spirit. The moment you speak it, you set in motion unseen forces that are already arranging people, circumstances, and opportunities on your behalf. Remember my words, your word is your wand. Every declaration is a seed planted in the fertile soil of the universe. Speak with faith, with clarity, with fearless expectation. Let each word carry the authority of your divine inheritance, the unshakable knowing that you are worthy of every blessing the infinite can bestow. And when you speak, speak not as one who is asking, speak as one who is receiving. For the supply is here, the door is open, and the law is ready to perform. This hour you have now is a sacred and appointed hour, and I tell you, there is nothing ordinary about it. It is a period in which the veil between the visible and the invisible is thin, a time when the energy of money and prosperity is closer to you than your own breath. Therefore I say to you, recite this metaphysical prayer with an open mind and a heart brimming with faith. Do not question how it will come, leave that to infinite intelligence. Your work is to believe in what the world calls impossible and to prepare, in your spirit, for the extraordinary to manifest right where you are. With this prayer, you are not merely hoping, you are setting in motion a powerful process of attraction, a spiritual law that will rearrange people, circumstances, and events in your favor. I say, trust the process. Trust the universe. And most of all, trust yourself. You are not late, you are not behind, you are at the right moment, in the right place, doing exactly what is required to fling open the doors to limitless abundance. I ask you now to give your agreement to step into this moment with intention, and as you do, speak it aloud in your heart. Speak it with your voice. I am attracting money now. In these 21 minutes, every word will carry weight, every thought will take root. The infinite source hears you the instant you speak, for there is no distance in spirit. I stand before you not as a supplicant, but as a co-creator with God, one whose heart is full of faith, and whose mind is fixed like a flint on the desire for wealth. I am fully present in this moment, aware that the power of this time is not measured in minutes, but in the intensity of my alignment. I dedicate these moments to the manifestation of my dreams, knowing they already exist in the unseen, and are now pressing into form. I accept, without resistance, that this is a divine opportunity granted to me by the infinite to bring my vibration into perfect harmony with the frequency of abundance that has existed since the foundation of the world. In these 21 minutes, I tell you, every second counts. Every breath you take is an affirmation. Every image you hold in your mind is a decree. Every emotion you feel is a magnet pulling into your life the form and shape of your desire. I enter this time as I would enter holy ground, knowing that I am touching the very fabric of the universe, weaving into it my thoughts of wealth, my visions of increase, my gratitude for the harvest that is already mine. And so I fix my attention now, sharply and lovingly, on the life I see before me, one filled with abundance in every form. I see financial wealth pouring into my experience, enriching relationships surrounding me, rewarding opportunities unfolding with ease, and my days saturated with joy and satisfaction. These are not idle daydreams, they are creative blueprints drawn upon the vast canvas of the infinite. By imagining with crystal clarity and charging each image with deep emotion, I am shaping my future in this very moment. And I say to you, what you picture now, you will walk into later. For nothing is withheld from the one who believes, and nothing can stand in the way of a decree spoken in alignment with divine law. With every breath I take in these 21 minutes, I feel the living current of abundance flowing through me. It is not a wish, it is a knowing. It is the sensation of perfect alignment, the deep and quiet certainty that I am standing in the place where heaven's storehouse and my earthly need meet. My heart, filled to the brim with faith, does not waver, no shadow of doubt is allowed to linger here. This faith is the rock upon which I build my reality. It is the silent but unbreakable force that sustains my dreams, fuels my declarations, and calls into form the prosperity that belongs to me by divine right. My mind, fixed firmly on my desire for wealth, becomes a mighty magnet, drawing to me ideas, people, and circumstances that carry the gold of answered prayer. In these moments, every thought I think is intentional, every word I speak is charged with purpose. I am conscious that my thoughts create my world, and so I choose them with care, dwelling only on the certainty of wealth, the inevitability of prosperity, and the joy of having already received. And in these sacred minutes, I open myself wide to receive guidance from the infinite. I watch for the signs, I welcome the flashes of inspiration, the gentle nudges, the sudden knowing that comes from divine mind. I understand that these 21 minutes are not only for speaking and visualizing, but for listening to hear what the Spirit has to say about my wealth, my next step, my unfolding path. The universe is never silent, it is always broadcasting, and in this holy hour my heart is tuned in with perfect reception. This is a divine dance with the cosmos. Each step I take is guided by infinite wisdom. Each move I make is infused with the strength of my connection to the source of all supply. As the clock ticks, I do not feel time slipping away. I feel myself sinking deeper into this living reality. This is not a pause in the day, it is an immersion in truth. Wealth is not far from me, it is at hand. Prosperity is not a dream to be chased. It is a substance already shaped, waiting for my word to release it. And so I see it, money flowing toward me in waves, vast and shimmering, from both known and unexpected sources. I do not strain to imagine. I see it as clearly as I see the sun at noonday. I see the bills paid, the needs met, the desires fulfilled. I see the investments multiply, the doors open, the opportunities arrive with my name written on them, and with every vision comes a rush of gratitude. Gratitude for the pennies and the fortunes, for the small blessings and the great ones, for every token of increase that signals the larger harvest on its way. I know that gratitude is a magnet, pulling more and more into my experience, so I nurture it, I dwell in it, I speak it aloud, and I tell you, the joy of knowing I am worthy of all this prosperity is the sweetest freedom of all. I release every remnant of unworthiness, every whisper of doubt. I know, wealth and abundance are my birthright, not a reward I must earn or justify. And so I open my arms, ready to receive without apology, without hesitation, without limit. Every heartbeat is a decree, every breath is a prayer, and in these 21 minutes, I declare aloud I attract money now, I attract opportunities now. I attract them quickly, easily, joyfully, because I am in perfect harmony with the law of abundance. In these 21 minutes of affirmation and visualization, I give my full and undivided self to the work of attracting money and opportunities. I do not drift in thought. I remain anchored in intention. With each breath, each word, each mental picture, I strengthen my connection with the infinite abundance of the universe. This time is sacred. It is not idle waiting, but spiritual alchemy, where my words and thoughts weave together to form the prosperous reality that already belongs to me. As I enter this consecrated space, I release every limitation and let my imagination become the architect of my fortune. I see the streams of income. I see the provision. I see the blessings moving toward me in ways that defy reason yet feel perfectly natural. I take this time as a holy appointment to hold fast to visions of wealth, to feel the joy of answered prayer before the answer appears, to embody the person I am when I have already received. I do not allow doubt or fear to intrude. They are trespassers in this sacred territory. And so I consciously dismiss them, removing every shadow of scarcity from my mind. By doing so, I clear the channel for prosperity to flow toward me, unhindered and unblocked. This is the posture of one who knows the law. I stand in total trust and positive expectation. I trust that money and prosperity are my divine inheritance. I expect them, I call them, I welcome them, and because expectation is magnetic, I find that circumstances, ideas, and connections are drawn to me without strain. My faith in this moment is not fragile, it is unbreakable. It is not the timid hope of maybe, it is the steadfast conviction of already. This faith guides me, strengthens me, and lights the path I walk. With every second that passes, my faith grows bolder, fed by every positive thought, every wave of gratitude that floods my heart. I stand ready to receive on every level, materially, spiritually, emotionally. I know that when my heart is open, I cannot miss a blessing, for I am attuned to recognize every opportunity, every provision, every divine arrangement. And so, in this appointed time, every thought of wealth and every feeling of gratitude blend into a powerful current, unlocking the doors to greater and greater abundance. I keep my inner atmosphere aligned with the frequency of prosperity, building the foundation for my financial future. Every moment in this state is a seed planted in the fertile soil of the universe, and because I water these seeds with unwavering faith and joyful expectation, they cannot help but grow into visible, tangible manifestations of wealth and success. I renew my commitment to my financial destiny, knowing that each step I take is backed by the whole power of spiritual law. I thank the universe for this connection, not just today but every day, for gratitude is the oil that keeps the machinery of manifestation turning smoothly. This connection is my greatest treasure. It is the channel through which wealth flows to me freely and without end. I vow to use what I receive not only for my comfort and joy, but for my personal and spiritual growth, for true wealth extends far beyond what the eye can see. I invest in myself, I expand my abilities, I deepen my wisdom, so that I may share my gifts more fully. And because I know the law of circulation, I give as freely as I receive. I share my resources, my time, my talents, knowing that in giving I multiply my own supply. Generosity is not loss, it is the act of planting even more seeds for future harvest. Every act of giving reinforces my link to the endless stream of universal abundance. With each passing minute, I feel my bond with prosperity becoming stronger, more alive, more inevitable. Doors open before me, some expected, some surprising, each one leading me higher. I am alert, I am ready, I am wise in my action, and as my life begins to mirror the infinite wealth of the universe, I live as proof of what is possible for anyone who dares to align with spiritual law. And so I say, thank you, universe, for this appointed hour, for this sacred prayer, for this unstoppable process that has already begun. I trust the law, I trust you, and I trust the self within me that is one with infinite supply. I am exactly where I should be, doing exactly what I should be doing, to live in the limitless abundance that is mine by divine right. And now, beloved, as we come to the close of this sacred 21 minutes, I want you to understand something that will change the way you walk out of this moment. What you have spoken is not a wish tossed into the air. What you have seen in your mind is not a fleeting fantasy. No, it is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen, and spirit honors substance. Spirit moves on evidence. You have given the universe your blueprint, and now the construction has begun. Do not undo with your tongue what you have built in your spirit. The same mouth that has declared wealth into being must not speak lack into motion. Your words after this moment must match your words during this prayer. You cannot plant seeds of abundance, and then water them with doubt. Guard your speech, for it is the very steering wheel of your life. When others speak of difficulty, you speak of supply. When they cry of shortage, you declare surplus. When they complain of delay, you proclaim now. For now is the only time spirit works, and it is always now. I tell you again, prosperity is not coming, it is here. It is circling you now, seeking the door you will open with faith and gratitude. You may see it at once, or it may take form quietly before bursting into your reality. But make no mistake, it is moving toward you as surely as the tide returns to the shore. And in the meantime, your role is to act as if it is done. Walk as though the bills are paid. Speak as though the account is full. Make decisions from the consciousness of a prosperous soul. The law responds not to need, but to the consciousness of already having. And so, in the days that follow, I want you to live in the vibration you have created here. Rise in the morning and give thanks before your feet touch the floor. Speak your good into existence before the world speaks fear into your ear. And when you lay your head down at night, review your day not for what seemed missing, but for the signs, large or small, that the law is at work for you. These signs are everywhere. For the one who looks with the eyes of faith, do not measure your progress only by what you can hold in your hand. Often the first harvest comes in the form of ideas, open doors, or new connections. These are not small things. They are the golden threads from which the garment of your prosperity is woven. Take them, act on them, and watch how quickly the tapestry completes itself. And remember, the law of circulation is the guardian of lasting wealth. Give as you receive. Pass on kindness, opportunity, and generosity, for these are the signals to the universe that you can be trusted with more. The hand that releases is the hand that remains open to receive. I have seen this law work without fail. Those who hoard shrink their capacity, but those who share expand their borders. Now, I speak over you a final decree, one that will seal the work you have done here today. I walk in the full possession of my wealth now. I live in the freedom of abundance now. I see, I touch, I hold, and I enjoy every good and perfect gift that is mine by divine right now. Let these words be your anchor and your compass. Return to them whenever the world would have you believe otherwise. They will hold you steady in the truth until the truth becomes your visible reality. And as we bring this time to a close, I leave you with this certainty: what you have set in motion cannot be stopped, unless you stop it, and you will not stop it, for you are wise, you are ready, and you are worthy. The vaults of heaven are open, the flow has begun, the wealth is yours, the time is now, and so it is. Every great fortune begins not in the bank, but in the mind. The world you see before you is but a mirror of the thoughts you hold within. Prosperity is not an accident. It is the natural result of aligning your consciousness with the divine law of abundance. When you understand that riches, opportunities, and success are spiritual first and material second, you unlock the secret key that has opened golden doors for kings, inventors, and visionaries since the beginning of time. The riches you seek are already prepared for you. They exist now, awaiting your recognition. Life is a storehouse of unlimited treasures, and your acceptance of them is the only price of admission. The invisible substance of wealth is molded and shaped by your words, your faith, and your inner images. If you speak lack, you carve lack into the fabric of your experience. If you speak abundance, you summon gold, silver ideas, and blessings to flow toward you as naturally as rivers find the sea. Your outer world is a perfect reflection of your inner belief. If you see success as distant, it will remain a stranger. But if you claim it now, feel it now, live as though it is yours now, the law of supply responds with precision. For the universe has no resistance to the confident soul who knows they are heir to every good and perfect gift. You do not have to struggle to create riches, you need only to remove the obstacles you have placed in your own thought. Fear, doubt, and envy are thieves that must be banished. The moment you replace them with faith, gratitude, and expectation, you open the channel for wealth to rush in from every direction. What you expect with joy, you attract with certainty. There are habits, simple, yet mighty, that build an irresistible magnetic field around the individual. Habits that turn desire into demonstration, vision into valuables, and ideas into income. These are not merely habits of action, but habits of consciousness. The wealthy man or woman lives in an atmosphere of abundance long before the coins and contracts arrive. Their words are seeds, their thoughts are blueprints, and their feelings are the attracting current that draws fortune closer each day. When you grasp that money is but a symbol of divine supply, and success is the evidence of harmony with universal law, you cease to chase and begin to attract. You cease to doubt and begin to expect. And expectation is the very hand that receives the gift already given. The habits you will learn are not tricks or schemes, they are eternal principles dressed in practical form. They work for the farmer and the financier, the student and the sovereign, because they are founded on the unchanging law as within, so without. If you'd like, I can now continue and list the 10 habits in the same style so the whole speech flows seamlessly. To speak abundance, never lack, is to recognize the creative power that rests upon your words, and to guard them as you would guard a treasure chest filled with gold. Every syllable you utter is a seed planted in the fertile soil of the unseen. If you plant seeds of lack, you will harvest lack. If you plant seeds of abundance, you will reap a harvest beyond counting. The tongue is not a mere instrument of communication. It is the wand of the magician, shaping the substance of life into form. The law of life responds with mathematical certainty to the vibration of your speech, for words are not empty. They are carriers of energy, charged with belief, and they go forth to fulfill their purpose exactly as spoken. When you say, "I can't afford that," you are issuing a decree to the universe that scarcity is your chosen reality. The law takes you at your word and mirrors it back in your circumstances. When you say, "Money comes to me easily and frequently," you are sending a signal into the great storehouse of supply, and all channels are moved to make it so. Your spoken word is not a wish, it is a command. And the more feeling and faith you invest in it, the faster and more powerfully it manifests. To speak abundance is to train your tongue to align with the vision you hold for your life, not the appearance of the moment. You may look at your bank account and see a number you wish were larger, but you do not give that fact the authority to dictate your speech. Instead, you declare the truth of abundance that exists beyond the visible. You say, "Divine supply flows to me in perfect ways," even when the evidence is not yet in your hands. You speak as if the harvest has already come in, because in the unseen it has. This is not lying to yourself, it is aligning yourself. You are not pretending something is true. You are affirming the greater reality that your senses cannot yet measure. The visible world is slow to catch up to the invisible law, but it always does. You speak abundance not because you are trying to force it, but because you are harmonizing your vibration with the frequency of wealth, and the law of attraction is infallible in its response. Consider that every complaint you voice is an order form for more of the same. If you say, "Everything is so expensive," you have signed the contract for continued expense and struggle. If you say, "Opportunities and discounts always find me," you are opening the door for conditions to shift in your favor. Your words are the architects of your reality, drafting the plans for what will be built in your life. A builder does not keep changing the blueprint if he wants to see his structure completed. Likewise, you must hold your speech steady and consistent with your chosen vision. Many people sabotage their abundance through casual speech. They use phrases like, "I'm broke, I can't win," or "Nothing ever works out for me," without realizing they are issuing powerful commands to the law of manifestation. They may laugh as they say it, believing it to be harmless, but the law is impersonal. It does not judge your tone, it only mirrors your content. Whether spoken in jest or in seriousness, words carry creative authority. It is wise, therefore, to make every utterance serve your highest good. Speaking abundance is not merely about money. It is about affirming richness in health, relationships, opportunities, and ideas. When you say, "Life supports me in every way," you set a current of unseen forces to arrange events, people, and circumstances to prove you right. When you say, "I am always in the right place at the right time," doors open where once there were walls. The same law that governs financial prosperity governs all other forms of good. Training your speech is a conscious discipline. At first, you may catch yourself speaking in ways that contradict your desires. This is natural, for most people have been conditioned from childhood to repeat the language of lack. But as you listen to yourself more closely, you begin to replace each negative declaration with one of abundance. If you catch yourself saying, "I can't do that," you immediately reframe it. "Everything I need to do this is coming to me now." If you start to say, "I'm not lucky," you replace it with, "I am always divinely guided and blessed." Over time, these statements become your default language, and the energy you emit shifts accordingly. The spoken word does not work alone, it works in harmony with thought and feeling. If you speak words of abundance while secretly believing in lack, your results will be slow. But when your words, thoughts, and feelings all agree, you create a magnetic force that nothing can resist. Speaking abundance becomes more than a habit, it becomes your natural state of being. You stop noticing reasons to complain, and you start noticing reasons to celebrate. You no longer speak of what is missing, but of what is flowing in. It is important to speak abundance not only about yourself but also about others. When you speak well of someone's prosperity, you are planting seeds of goodwill that also bless your own garden. Envy and criticism close the door on your own flow, for the law you apply to others is the same law that applies to you. To say, "He is so lucky, but I never get a break," is to affirm your own lack. But to say, "Good for him, blessings are flowing to all of us," is to align yourself with the same river of supply. Even in casual conversation, you can turn the tide toward abundance. When someone complains about rising costs, you might respond with, "Yes, and isn't it wonderful how new opportunities always appear to meet our needs?" This is not ignoring reality. It is choosing which reality you will strengthen with your words. The more you do this, the more you will find that situations arise to match your declarations. Speaking abundance is a way of living in faith. It is declaring the harvest before you see it, because you know the seed has already been planted in the invisible. It is choosing to water the seed with words of life, not poison it with words of fear. Every time you affirm prosperity, you are polishing the mirror of your life, so it reflects the infinite wealth of the universe without distortion. You are reminding yourself, and the law that governs all, that your inheritance is rich, limitless, and already given. To see yourself already successful is to take possession of the prize in the realm of mind before it is delivered into your hands. Success is not a chase. It is a claiming. The invisible blueprint of every triumph begins in the imagination. And the clearer and more vividly you hold that image, the faster it solidifies into the visible world. The world outside cannot resist the world you create inside. If you can see it with the eyes of faith, you have already laid claim to it. The unseen responds to the image you carry, just as surely as a shadow follows the object that casts it. When you see yourself already successful, you are not hoping, wishing, or bargaining with fate. You are aligning with the unshakable truth that what you desire already exists in potential form. And that potential is just as real as the finished result. The laws of creation require that you first have the pattern before the substance can fill it. You are the designer, the architect, and the visionary of your own life, and your inner picture is the mold into which the material world must flow. This seeing is not mere daydreaming, it is an act of conscious creation. You place yourself in the scene as if it were now. Breathing the air of your achievement, hearing the voices of those who congratulate you, feeling the texture of the life you have chosen. You see yourself signing the contracts, holding the keys, speaking from the stage, depositing the checks, receiving the awards. Whatever represents your version of success, you make it so vivid that your subconscious mind cannot distinguish it from reality. And in doing so, you program it to bring about conditions that match the vision. The mind moves toward what it is most familiar with. If you constantly feed it images of failure, rejection, and defeat, it will unconsciously guide you toward actions and decisions that confirm those images. But if you saturate your mind with the feeling and vision of success, it will work tirelessly, day and night, to create the circumstances that match your mental picture. The subconscious is obedient but not creative. It takes orders from your conscious mind. Seeing yourself already successful is the way you give it clear, unmistakable orders. You may ask how one can see success when present conditions appear to contradict it. The answer lies in the law that the inner precedes the outer. What you see now is the harvest of past thoughts and images, and it has no authority over the seeds you plant today. If a farmer judged the future harvest by the barren field before planting, he would never sow. Yet he knows the soil will respond to the seed, the water, and the sunlight. Likewise, your life will respond to the images, the faith, and the persistence you invest. To see yourself already successful is to ignore the temporary evidence of the senses when it contradicts your goal. This is not denial, it is discipline. You are training yourself to hold the higher vision regardless of appearances. You might be in a small apartment now, but in your inner world, you walk through the spacious rooms of your dream home. You might be working in an entry-level position now, but in your mind, you step into the corner office, directing projects and making high-level decisions. You might be counting pennies now, but in your imagination, you are counting profits and signing generous checks. The law of life does not bring to you what you deserve. It brings to you what you continually see and feel as yours. Emotions are the fuel for this vision. The picture alone is not enough, you must charge it with the feeling of already having achieved it. If you can close your eyes and feel the relief, the pride, the gratitude, the excitement, then you have activated the magnetic current that draws it into form. The stronger and more consistent your emotional connection, the more rapidly it manifests. The mind responds to the language of feeling far more powerfully than it does to the language of words alone. Every person who has accomplished great things has lived this principle. The inventor sees the finished machine before the first piece of metal is shaped. The author sees the completed book before a single word is written. The athlete sees the victory before the starting gun is fired. They do not wait for the world to give them proof, they create the proof within themselves first. They live from the vision, not toward it. And by doing so, they make it inevitable. When you walk through your day with the image of your success ever present, you begin to act in harmony with it without even trying. Your posture changes, your tone of voice changes, the decisions you make change. You begin to gravitate toward opportunities that align with your vision and to pass over those that do not. You attract people who match the frequency of your inner image, and you repel those who would weaken or contradict it. You make choices as if you were already living the life you have seen, and those choices become stepping stones toward its physical expression. This practice requires persistence, for the world will often tempt you to drop your vision and conform to its current conditions. You will hear voices of doubt, both from within and from others, that question your certainty. But if you understand the creative process, you know these are merely echoes of the old pattern trying to maintain its hold. You must hold your vision steady, as a captain holds the wheel of the ship steady, even when waves crash against the hull. The clearer your vision, the less power those waves have over you. It is also important to strip away any mental images of failure or limitation. If you see yourself as unlucky, unworthy, or incapable, you are creating a second blueprint that competes with the first. The subconscious cannot serve two masters. It will follow the dominant image. This is why you must become vigilant over your inner world, replacing every image of defeat with one of triumph. Over time, the new image becomes so dominant that the old one dissolves completely, and success becomes your new normal. To see yourself already successful is to live in a mental atmosphere of completion. You speak from it, act from it, and make decisions from it. You carry yourself as one who has already received, and the world responds accordingly. Doors open, ideas arrive, and resources appear because you have made room for them in the only place that matters first, the unseen workshop of the mind. To expect wealth with unwavering faith is to stand in the certainty that the good you seek is already on its way, regardless of appearances, delays, or obstacles. Expectation is not idle wishing. It is the confident assurance that the seed you have planted will grow, because it is rooted in the unchanging law of cause and effect. Faith gives life to the seed, and expectation draws it into form. When you expect wealth, you align your mind, emotions, and actions with abundance, and the universe has no choice but to match your vibration with results. This expectation must be unwavering, because the moment doubt enters, it interrupts the flow of supply. Just as a farmer does not dig up his seeds each day to check if they are growing, you must resist the temptation to question the process. You planted through your vision, your spoken word, and your feelings, now you allow the law to work. Faith is the soil, expectation is the sunlight, and both are needed to bring the harvest. The habit of expecting wealth is the habit of living as if you already possess it in substance, even if it has not yet taken material form. To expect wealth is to reject every thought of limitation as a lie against the truth of your being. The divine source is infinite and knows no shortage, and you are connected to that source. If you hold the image of abundance in your heart, yet walk through life bracing for disappointment, you are canceling your own order before it is filled. Expectation is the magnetic current that keeps the channel open. It says, "I know my good is coming," with the same calm certainty you would feel if you had already received the confirmation in your hand. The person of unwavering faith does not depend on outer signs to maintain expectation. They do not wait for the economy to improve, for someone else's approval, or for a specific set of circumstances to unfold before believing. They know the outer is shaped by the inner, not the other way around. When there is no visible evidence, they expect all the more, because they understand that the unseen is the womb from which the seen is born. Expectation is a form of mental preparation. It prompts you to act in ways that welcome your good. When you expect guests, you prepare the house. When you expect wealth, you prepare your life to receive it. You open bank accounts, create systems, educate yourself, and make room for the increase you know is coming. These acts are not wishful thinking. They are declarations in action that you believe in the law of supply and are ready to handle its gifts. To expect wealth with unwavering faith is to carry yourself in thought and feeling as one who is already wealthy. You spend without fear, knowing more is always coming. You give freely, understanding that giving is the other side of receiving. You see opportunities where others see none, because your mind is tuned to the frequency of gain rather than loss. This expectation sharpens your awareness and makes you alert to openings you might otherwise overlook. Many fail to experience increase because their expectation is mixed with fear. They may affirm abundance in the morning and worry about bills by the afternoon. This divided mind sends a confused signal to the law, which always mirrors the dominant vibration. To hold unwavering faith is to choose one signal and keep it steady. You do not beg for wealth as if it were reluctant to come. You declare it as your natural inheritance and expect it as surely as you expect the sun to rise. You must also guard against the influence of others who speak in terms of scarcity and hopelessness. If you allow their words to become your expectation, you have given them power over your destiny. Surround yourself with voices and images that affirm possibility and expansion. Read, listen, and converse in ways that strengthen your faith rather than weaken it. Expectation is strengthened by repetition, so keep your mind continually fed with thoughts and images of plenty. The more you expect wealth, the more your subconscious mind organizes your behavior to match that belief. You take bolder steps, approach new ventures with confidence, and make decisions that align with long-term prosperity rather than short-term safety. Your energy changes, and with it, the energy you draw from others changes. People sense the confidence of one who expects success, and they respond with trust, opportunities, and support. It is not enough to merely want wealth. Wanting can exist alongside doubt. Expectation is a higher state. It is wanting combined with certainty. A person who expects to be paid for their work acts differently than one who merely hopes. A person who expects their investment to grow watches the market with a different eye than one who fears loss. Expectation changes posture, tone, and presence. It makes you a living invitation for wealth to arrive. Unwavering faith does not mean you will never face challenges. It means challenges do not shake your certainty. When a temporary setback comes, you see it as part of the process, not as evidence of failure. You remain calm in the knowledge that the law is still at work, arranging the unseen pieces that will deliver your increase. The appearance of delay is often the very proof that the wheels are turning beneath the surface. To expect wealth with unwavering faith is to trust the invisible supply as much as you trust the visible. Just as you trust a planted seed to grow beneath the soil, you trust your affirmation, vision, and inspired action to produce results in the physical. You do not dig up the process with worry, you water it daily with gratitude and act as if it is already yours. Gratitude, in fact, is a natural companion to expectation. It keeps your focus on the flow rather than the lack, and it multiplies whatever is already in your hand. Your expectation must be present in every area of your life, not just in finances. If you expect good news, you will see more of it. If you expect people to treat you well, you will draw that behavior from them. Wealth is not limited to money. It is the overflowing of good in all directions. Expectation for abundance in one area reinforces abundance in others, creating a cycle of increase. When your faith is unwavering, you do not measure progress by the clock or calendar. You know the manifestation is coming in perfect timing, and that the law cannot fail. The moment you align with the vibration of your desire and hold it steady, the process begins. You expect wealth because it is your birthright, your natural state, and the inevitable outcome of your alignment with the source of all supply. To remove fear, doubt, and envy is to clear the mental field in which the seeds of success and wealth must grow. These three forces are like weeds that choke the healthy plants before they can bear fruit. Fear contracts, doubt delays, and envy poisons. If abundance is to flow freely into your life, you must uproot these intruders completely, for they cannot coexist with faith, gratitude, and confidence. Every time you yield to fear, you send a signal to the universe that you do not trust the supply. Every time you entertain doubt, you interrupt the channel through which your good is arriving. Every time you indulge envy, you close your own door by declaring that someone else's gain somehow diminishes your own. Fear is the great paralyzer. It causes hesitation when action is needed, retreat when persistence would win the day, and silence when opportunity calls for a bold declaration. Fear is not an external force. It is an internal image projected onto circumstances. The thing you fear often does not exist in reality. It is a phantom born of past failures, imagined losses, or stories you have been told. The mind creates pictures of disaster and then reacts to them as if they were facts. To remove fear is to replace those mental pictures with visions of success, safety, and victory. Fear cannot remain in the presence of a firmly held image of abundance, because the mind cannot hold two contradictory pictures with equal force for long. Doubt is the quiet thief that works in the shadows. It often appears reasonable, whispering questions like, "What if this doesn't work?" Or, "What if I fail again?" Doubt is dangerous because it presents itself as caution, but its true nature is paralysis. While fear shouts, doubt whispers, and in its subtlety, it undermines your persistence. Doubt will cause you to water your seed one day and abandon it the next. It will lead you to change your plan too soon, or to accept lesser opportunities because you do not believe the greater ones will arrive. To remove doubt, you must learn to recognize its voice and answer it with truth. The law of supply cannot fail. What I have asked for is already mine in the unseen. My only task is to remain aligned. Each time you replace doubt with certainty, you strengthen the mental habit that keeps your vision steady until it materializes. Envy is perhaps the most deceptive of the three, for it masquerades as admiration while secretly breeding resentment. To envy another's wealth, success, or position is to declare to your subconscious that you believe you cannot have the same or better. It is an admission of separation from the source of supply, as if someone else's good must come at your expense. This belief is a lie, for the source is infinite and cannot be exhausted. Every time you feel envy, you are affirming lack. You are telling the law that abundance is scarce, and that you are on the outside looking in. To remove envy is to train yourself to bless the success of others, seeing it as proof of what is possible for you. When you rejoice in the wealth of another, you are planting a seed for your own harvest, for you are aligning yourself with the vibration of abundance rather than scarcity. The process of removing these three forces begins with awareness. You cannot uproot what you do not see. Fear may disguise itself as being realistic, doubt as thinking things through, and envy as harmless comparison. You must become vigilant over your thoughts, catching these intruders in the moment they arise. The instant you notice fear, you replace it with an affirmation of safety and abundance. When you catch doubt, you replace it with a declaration of faith. When envy appears, you replace it with genuine blessings for the one you envied, and a renewed affirmation of your own limitless supply. Removing fear, doubt, and envy is not a one-time event but a continuous discipline. Just as a gardener does not weed the garden once and forget about it, you must regularly inspect the garden of your mind. Some weeds return after being pulled, and some lie dormant until conditions favor their growth. But the more consistently you remove them, the weaker their roots become until they can no longer take hold. It is important to understand that fear, doubt, and envy cannot simply be removed in the sense of leaving an empty space. Nature abhors a vacuum, and the mind will fill any empty place with whatever is most dominant in its environment. This is why they must be replaced with their opposites. Fear with faith, doubt with certainty, envy with gratitude. If you do not actively cultivate these opposites, the weeds will return. Faith expands the heart, certainty steadies the mind, and gratitude opens the channel to receive more. The removal of these three forces also changes the way you experience opportunities. Without fear, you will step forward when the moment presents itself. Without doubt, you will hold steady when results are not immediate. Without envy, you will celebrate the victories of others and use them as fuel for your own journey. This creates a magnetic field that draws opportunities to you, because you are no longer resisting them with conflicting signals. Your speech will also change as these intruders are removed. Fear often speaks in words of limitation. Maybe. What if? It's too risky. Maybe. I'm not sure and see. Envy speaks in comparisons. Why them? It must be nice. As you replace those with words of abundance. I can. My time is coming. You change not only your vibration, but also the vibration of the vibration, but also the way others perceive yours. So respond to ye. The world listens to the language you speak, and when your words reflect faith, confidence, and goodwill, doors open where before there were none. The energy freed by removing fear, doubt, and envy is immense. Fear drains energy by keeping you in a constant state of imagined danger. Doubt wastes energy by making you start and stop, start and stop. Envy wastes energy by focusing your attention on another's life instead of your own. When these drains are sealed, you have a surge of mental and emotional power to direct toward your vision. You can invest that energy into actions that bring results, into creative thought, and into building the habits that produce lasting wealth. Without these three, you walk through life lighter and more open. You no longer pause to wonder if you should move forward. You simply move. You no longer question if the result will come. You know it is on its way. You no longer feel a sting when others succeed. You feel joy. Because their success confirms the truth of abundance for all. Fear, doubt, and envy are chains that keep the mind bound to the old pattern. Their removal sets you free to create without resistance. To live in harmony with universal law is to align every thought, word, emotion, and action with the principles that govern all creation. The universe operates by exact laws, not by chance. Just as gravity never forgets to pull or the tides never forget to rise and fall, the laws of supply, cause and effect, and attraction never fail to respond to the vibration you emit. Living in harmony with these laws is not about forcing outcomes, but about moving in the same direction as the current instead of struggling against it. When you are aligned, progress feels natural, opportunities appear without strain, and your efforts are multiplied by the unseen forces working with you. These laws are impartial and impersonal. They do not bend for preference or sentiment. They respond with precision to the mental and emotional states you maintain. If your thoughts are of abundance, gratitude, and expectation, the law reflects those conditions in your outer life. If your thoughts are of lack, resentment, and fear, the law reflects those as well. Harmony means you choose thoughts and feelings that match the reality you wish to experience, knowing that the law will unfailingly mirror them back to you. Living in harmony begins with recognition of cause and effect. Nothing in your experience is random, it is the effect of a cause set in motion by you, consciously or unconsciously. Every word spoken, every image held, every attitude maintained plants a seed. Some seeds grow quickly, others slowly, but all bring forth fruit in their season. Harmony with the law means planting only what you wish to harvest. You would not sow thorns and expect roses, yet many do this mentally by speaking of limitation while desiring expansion. Alignment requires consistency between your inner planting and the outer harvest you seek. Another universal law at work is the law of supply. There is no shortage in the divine storehouse. Every form of wealth, opportunity, and resource exists in infinite measure. Scarcity is a concept created by the mind when it forgets its connection to the source. To live in harmony with this law is to move through life with the awareness that there is always more coming, that the stream of supply is continuous. This consciousness dissolves the need for grasping, hoarding, or competing. For you know that what is yours cannot be withheld, and that your gain does not require another's loss. The law of attraction is the harmonizing force that draws to you the people, conditions, and resources that match your dominant vibration. This is why harmony with the law begins within, not without. You cannot attract abundance while vibrating with fear of loss. You cannot draw success while rehearsing images of failure. The vibration you send is the invitation you extend to the universe. Living in harmony means becoming the embodiment of what you wish to receive. Thinking as the wealthy think, feeling as the successful feel, and acting as though you already hold what you desire. Harmony with universal law is also a matter of trust. Just as you trust that the sun will rise and the seasons will change, you trust that the law will deliver the results of your consistent alignment. This trust removes the anxiety that causes so many to abandon their vision before it is realized. When you trust the law, you are free to take inspired action without the pressure of making things happen through force. You move forward confidently, knowing that your role is to plant, water, and expect, while the law ensures the growth. Living in harmony also requires balance between giving and receiving. The law is circulatory. What you give returns to you multiplied, and what you withhold is withheld from you. If you desire more wealth, you must become a channel through which wealth flows, not merely a reservoir that collects and holds. Giving with joy signals to the law that you live in the consciousness of plenty, and the law responds by maintaining that plenty. This applies not only to money but also to time, encouragement, kindness, and opportunity. Harmony with the law extends to your treatment of others. The energy you send out in thought and feeling toward another is energy you will meet again. Resentment, criticism, and ill will disrupt your vibration and create conditions that return to you in unpleasant form. Blessing others, wishing them success, and seeing them in their highest good aligns you with the flow of abundance for all. In universal law, there is no separation. What you give to another, you give to yourself. Awareness is the foundation of harmony. You must notice the patterns of thought and behavior that bring discord into your life. Complaining, worrying, doubting, and comparing all send signals of lack. When you catch yourself in these patterns, you consciously replace them with gratitude, faith, and affirmation of the truth you wish to see. Over time, the new patterns become habits, and harmony becomes your natural state. Living in harmony with the law also means being receptive. Many block their good not because it is unavailable, but because they are closed to receiving it in unexpected ways. The law does not always deliver in the form you imagine. A new opportunity, a helpful connection, a sudden idea. These may all be answers to your request. By being open and flexible, you allow the law to work through the best possible channels rather than limiting it to your own preconceived plan. Harmony is not passive acceptance. It is active cooperation. You do not simply wait for life to happen. You participate in the creative process by holding the right mental state, speaking the right words, taking inspired action, and remaining steady in faith. You recognize that your inner state sets the rhythm to which the outer world dances. If you want the music to change, you change the song within. The beauty of living in harmony with universal law is that it removes struggle. You stop fighting circumstances and start shaping them. You stop reacting to appearances and start creating from cause. You stop seeking shortcuts and start walking the direct path of alignment. In this state, you find that wealth, opportunities, and success flow toward you naturally, not as isolated blessings, but as the inevitable outcome of being in tune with the principles that govern all creation.
Beloved soul, listen closely. You are not chasing money. Money is finding you. You are not begging for abundance. Abundance is recognizing you. You are not separate from wealth. You are the essence through which wealth expresses itself. Every breath you take, every heartbeat that sustains you, is already proof that divine substance flows to you without resistance. That same current that gives you air, gives you prosperity. Money is not against you. Money is not judging you. Money is not hiding from you. Money loves you. Say that silently and let it vibrate in your heart. Money loves me. Feel the truth behind it. Not as a wish, but as a revelation. For centuries, humanity has been taught to fear money, to chase it with anxiety, or to reject it with guilt. But the law of divine supply says what you fear flees, what you love returns. So when you say, money loves me, you are not making an affirmation of greed. You are making an affirmation of harmony. You are healing the wound between spirit and substance. You are remembering that God does not withhold wealth. The mind does. Every thought of lack is a shadow. Every thought of gratitude is light. You are called to walk in the light of prosperity, for prosperity is not something you earn. It is something you align with. The divine substance of the universe responds instantly to love. And when you love money as divine energy, it begins to recognize your voice. Money is alive, conscious, responsive. It listens to the tone of your emotions. It follows the melody of your beliefs. When you say, money loves me, you awaken it. You tell it, I am no longer afraid of you. I no longer worship you. I no longer worship you. I honor you. And money, relieved to be loved again, begins to return home to you. You are not here to serve money. You are here to let money serve the good within you. Every dollar that passes through your hands carries vibration. If your vibration is gratitude, it multiplies. If your vibration is fear, it dissolves. So bless it. Bless every bill, every coin, every digital number that represents it. Whisper to it, you are holy energy. You are love in circulation. You are divine supply in motion. Say with me softly, I am a magnet for divine prosperity. Money loves me. Opportunities recognize me. I am guided by infinite intelligence. Let these words melt into your consciousness. In the divine order of the universe, money is never scarce. It is infinite. Like air. It flows where it is welcomed. It flows where it is honored. It flows where it is trusted. You were never meant to struggle for it. You were meant to receive it through peace. When you try to chase it, it runs. When you rest in the knowing that you are already provided for, it begins to follow your peace. Money loves peaceful people. Money loves givers. Money loves those who bless it when it comes and bless it when it goes. For it knows it will always return. Beloved, begin to speak to it as your friend. Money, I love you for what you allow me to create. I love you for helping me bless others. I love you for the freedom you bring to my days and the comfort you bring to my family. I release all guilt for desiring you, for desiring comfort, for desiring ease. I am worthy of abundant support. I am worthy of peace. The universe is not testing you. It is responding to you. The moment you release shame around money, divine law begins to correct your experience. The doors that once seemed locked begin to open. Ideas begin to sparkle in your mind. People begin to appear who say, I was just thinking of you. That is money responding to your energy. That is divine love expressing itself as financial ease. Repeat this truth until it becomes part of your breath. Money loves me. I am worthy of wealth. I am safe with wealth. I am guided by divine supply. Money is not the goal. Love is. But love always brings its gifts. And money is one of them. When you learn to see money not as an enemy, but as an instrument of love, you rise into spiritual maturity. You stop asking for pennies and begin receiving rivers. You stop worrying about tomorrow and begin living as though heaven already supports you. Because it does. Remember this: every time you spend, you are circulating divine energy. Every time you receive, you are completing the circle of abundance. It is not about how much, it is about how freely it flows. The miser blocks the stream. The grateful giver multiplies it. So release, bless, and affirm. The more I give, the more I receive. The more I love, the more money loves me. Let these words sink deep. Money loves me. Wealth is drawn to me. Prosperity recognizes me. I am one with the rich substance of the universe. Pause for a breath and feel it. You are in the vibration of abundance now. Not because you forced it, but because you remembered it. Money is not something you chase, dear one. It is something you attract through alignment. When you remember your divine identity, money finds its way to you effortlessly, joyfully, peacefully. And so it is. And it always will be. Everything you desire already exists in vibration. Before it becomes money in your account, it exists as energy in your field. Before it becomes opportunity in your hand, it is a thought in your heart. Nothing comes from outside you. Everything flows through you. That is the divine law of vibration. You are not attracting things by chance, you are tuning into them by frequency. The universe is a grand orchestra, and you are both the musician and the melody. When you vibrate lack, you hear echoes of need. When you vibrate gratitude, you hear the music of abundance. Money is vibration. It feels. It senses the frequency of your emotions. When you say, I am ready to receive, the universe asks, do you feel ready? Because words are not enough. Feeling is the real prayer. Say it now and mean it. I am open. I am ready. I am receptive to divine supply. Let the vibration move through your body like light. Many people ask, why do I affirm and see no change? The answer is vibration. You cannot speak abundance while vibrating fear. You cannot affirm wealth while vibrating worry. The two cannot dance together. You must become what you wish to receive. That is the secret. You must feel wealthy before wealth arrives. You must feel safe before safety manifests. You must feel loved before love appears. Because vibration is creation. Repeat softly. I now vibrate to the frequency of abundance. I now align with the rhythm of divine prosperity. Money loves my vibration because it feels peace when it enters my field. When you are calm, money flows. When you are anxious, it hesitates. Because anxiety speaks the language of doubt, and doubt repels divine order. Peace speaks the language of trust, and trust magnetizes miracles. Look around you. The trees are not struggling to grow. The rivers are not begging to flow. They simply stay in harmony with their divine pattern. You too have a pattern of wealth. A divine design that cannot be erased, only forgotten. And every time you affirm, money loves me, you are remembering your true pattern. Vibration is not something you force, it is something you allow. It is not about repeating words until you are tired. It is about letting those words sink deep enough that they change your emotional tone. When your tone changes, your life rearranges. Say this with a slow heart. I am calm. I am safe. I am wealthy. Money feels peace when it is with me. I am a sanctuary for divine supply. That is the vibration of receiving. The universe does not send wealth through struggle. It sends it through resonance. When you feel rich in gratitude, life finds ways to match it. A door opens and opportunity calls. A client says yes, a bill gets paid unexpectedly. That is not luck. That is vibration obeying divine law. The law of vibration says, you can only receive what you match. So stop trying to chase and start trying to feel. Stop trying to control and start trying to allow. The act of receiving is sacred. It is not passive. It is spiritual action. The action of surrender. When you say, I am ready to receive, you are telling the universe, I trust you. And the moment trust enters your heart, resistance leaves. Repeat it again. I trust the divine process. I trust the divine timing. I trust that what is mine will never miss me. I trust that money finds joy in my presence. You do not have to force it. You do not have to earn it. You simply have to become a match for it. Your energy introduces you before your words do. When your vibration says, I am abundant, people feel it. Opportunities feel it. The right connections feel it. You do not need to convince the world. The vibration does it for you. That is why you must watch your thoughts, protect your emotions, and guard your peace. Peace is your wealth frequency. Gratitude is your signal to the universe. Love is your magnet. Say it with faith, I love the vibration of money. I love the vibration of ease. I love the vibration of freedom. I love being in harmony with divine supply. There is no competition in divine law. You do not steal someone's blessing by receiving yours. The supply is infinite. When you raise your vibration, you do not take. You tune in. The airwaves of abundance are always broadcasting. You simply decide to tune your heart to the right channel. If you wish to change your finances, do not fight the outside. Change the inner. Feel wealthy when you wake up. Feel grateful when you eat. Feel rich when you breathe. That vibration sends a signal stronger than any action alone. And then, when you act, your actions carry divine energy. Every idea becomes magnetic. Every effort becomes multiplied. Because when vibration and action unite, manifestation becomes inevitable. Say softly, my vibration is my invitation. I invite abundance. I invite wealth. I invite divine surprises. And so the universe responds. It never ignores a calm, trusting heart. It always moves toward the one who vibrates love. Money loves that vibration. Money recognizes it instantly, because money itself is love in form. When you love money without fear, it becomes loyal to you. When you appreciate money without worship, it serves you faithfully. Breathe and whisper again. My money loves me. Together we serve divine good. My vibration is rich. My soul is abundant. My life is overflowing. Stay in that frequency. Let it hum beneath your breath as you go about your day. You are no longer waiting for abundance. You are radiating it. You are no longer asking for proof. You are becoming the proof. You are the evidence of divine prosperity in motion. Money feels your peace. Money feels your gratitude. Money feels your faith. And because it feels loved, it loves you back. And so it is. And so it continues. Forever and ever. Under grace and in perfect harmony. Beloved, before money flows freely, the heart must be healed. Before prosperity arrives, guilt must be dissolved. Before wealth stays, fear must leave. For money does not live in numbers, it lives in belief. And if belief says, I am unworthy, then even a fortune will fade. But if belief says, I am one with divine supply, then even $1 will multiply. You were not born with lack. You were taught it. You were not born with fear of money. You inherited it from generations that suffered. But now, you are the bridge of healing. You are the turning point of the bloodline. You are the one who says, it ends with me. Say it now, I release all false beliefs about money. I release fear, guilt, shame, and unworthiness. I am healed by divine truth. There was a time when you were told that wanting more was wrong. That wealth was selfish. That comfort was sin. But hear me now, God is not glorified by your struggle. The divine does not celebrate your worry. The universe rejoices when you prosper in peace. Every time you feel guilty for desiring wealth, remember, it is not greed, it is divine expansion. You are not stealing from the poor when you prosper, you are showing them what's possible when faith is stronger than fear. Say softly, I am allowed to be wealthy. I am allowed to be supported. I am allowed to receive. Money is not the root of evil. Fear is. Money is not corruption. It is creation. It becomes what you are. If your heart is pure, your wealth will bless. If your mind is kind, your riches will heal. So heal the mind that says, I can't afford this. Heal the voice that whispers, it's too hard. Heal the memory that says, people like me never make it. Every time you say those words, you create walls. But every time you affirm truth, you open gates. The universe cannot pass through fear, but it can flow through faith. Repeat softly, I am worthy of abundance. I am safe with wealth. I am healed from all scarcity beliefs. Money feels peace in my hands. I am the divine distributor of good. Do not blame yourself for old beliefs. You were only repeating what you saw. But now that you know better, speak better. For words are the sculptors of reality. Every word is a tool in your hands, carving your new life. Instead of saying, I can't aligned yet. Instead of saying, I never have enough. Say, I am expanding into more. Instead of saying, money is hard to earn. Say, money flows to me easily and joyfully. The mind learns by repetition, and so does the heart. So repeat these sacred words until they replace the old ones completely. Money loves me. I love money. I am a clear, healed, open vessel for divine wealth. I am forgiven, I am free, I am flowing. Every belief of lack is a bruise in the subconscious. But affirmation is light, and light heals. When you speak abundance daily, you are bathing your inner child in the love it never received. You are telling that younger you, it's safe now. We are supported now. The struggle is your eyes, and imagine your inner child holding a golden coin. That coin shines with divine light. It is not money from the world. It is money from the infinite. It represents peace, security, trust, and joy. Now see that child smile and say, money loves me. Let that moment heal the memory of every time you were told, we can't afford it. Let it rewrite every memory of fear and lack. Let it dissolve every guilt of wanting more. Say a lie, I am not my past. I am my divine potential. I am not what they told me about money. I am what divine law says I am. Prosperous, protected, and loved. Money is not something you chase, it is something you allow. The more you forgive yourself, the more you allow. The more you release resentment, the more space you make for blessings to enter. Forgive your past self for the debts. Forgive your parents for their fears. Forgive society for its lies. And whisper, I forgive and I am free. I forgive and I prosper. I forgive and I rise. Forgiveness heals the energy field, and healed energy is magnetic. Nothing repels money faster than guilt, and nothing attracts it faster than peace. So walk in peace. Speak peace. Spend with peace. And when money comes, say, welcome, my friend. When money goes, say, thank you for serving your purpose. This is how you heal your relationship with wealth. Money is not against you. It has been waiting for you to stop fighting it. It is ready to dance with you again. Gently, joyfully, abundantly. Breathe deeply now and repeat, I am healed. I am whole. I am wealthy in thought, word, and feeling. I am the living expression of divine abundance. When you heal your beliefs, you heal your vibration. When you heal your vibration, you heal your finances. When you heal your finances, you heal generations. The energy that once carried fear now carries light. The pattern that once attracted struggle now attracts support. Because you remembered the truth, money was never the enemy. Fear was. Now that you are healed, fear no longer lives here. Only peace, only divine prosperity remain. Say one last time with conviction, money loves me, because I love truth. Money stays with me, because I stay in peace. Money blesses me, because I bless it. I am healed, whole, and one with infinite supply. And so it is. Under grace. In perfect timing, forever and always. Money is not meant to be stored in fear. It is meant to move in faith. It is the river of divine substance, not the pond of possession. When you cling to money with worry, it stagnates. When you release it with trust, it circulates. Circulation is creation. Giving is growing. Blessing is multiplying. The divine law says, Whatever you send out returns to you, multiplied and magnified. When you give love, love returns. When you give peace, peace expands. When you give money with joy, it comes back with blessings attached. Say softly, I am a channel of divine circulation. Money flows through me easily and joyfully. Every dollar I spend blesses all it touches and returns to me tenfold. You see, many people hold money with clenched fists, thinking that safety lies in control. But safety does not live in control. It lives in faith. What is held too tightly cannot breathe. What cannot breathe cannot grow. You cannot serve divine law with fear in your hands. Money is alive. It wants to move. It wants to work for good. When you bless money as it leaves your hand, you are telling the universe, I trust the flow. And the universe, hearing your trust, sends the current back stronger. Repeat this gently. Every dollar I spend returns multiplied. Every bill I pay blesses the world and blesses me. I am not losing. I am circulating divine energy. You are not losing money when you give. You are planting it. You are not wasting it when you bless. You are watering it. The soil of gratitude guarantees the harvest. Say it again, I give in joy, and I receive in grace. Even tithing, when done in love, is not an obligation but a vibration. A sacred acknowledgement that all good comes from God and returns to God. When you give your 10% with peace, the remaining 90 becomes blessed beyond measure. The miser feels fear and calls it wisdom. But divine wisdom is generosity without attachment. For every seed kept in the hand dies unused, but every seed planted grows in silence. Money grows in silence too. The quiet act of blessing it as you release it. The whispered, thank you pay. The gentle smile as you give. These unseen moments multiply your prosperity. Say softly, money loves to serve through me. I am not afraid to let it go, because it always finds its way back home to me. The ocean never fears giving a wave to the shore. It knows that what goes out will return. You too are an ocean of divine substance. You cannot run out. You can only run over. So when you give with a smile. When you pay, say, this money blesses all it touches. When you receive, say, thank you, divine source, for trusting me with more. Every act of circulation proves that the universe is alive and responsive. The more you bless what you release, the faster it returns. The more you appreciate what you receive, the more doors open. Repeat with faith, I bless my money as it goes. I bless my income as it comes. I bless every channel through which divine supply flows. I am open, I am giving, I am abundant. You were never meant to hoard, you were meant to harmonize. When you stop fearing lack, the divine law stops testing you with it. Money begins to trust you because you trust it. You stop clinging and start circulating. And circulation is life. Look at the body, the blood must flow or the organs wither. Look at the sky, the wind must move or the air grows heavy. Look at the heart, love must give or it aches. So too with money, it must move to stay alive. The divine order is circulation. What you give with joy cannot be lost. What you release in faith cannot be wasted. What you send in love cannot vanish. It multiplies invisibly and returns when you least expect it. Say now, money moves through me as divine current. I am a river of wealth, I give freely. I receive abundantly. I circulate divine blessings everywhere I go. The more peace you feel in giving, the more ease you feel in receiving. The more love you pour into your transactions, the more harmony fills your life. Soon you begin to see. It was never about spending or saving. It was always about circulating divine love through every form called. Oh, beloved, the secret of abundance is not more. It is flow. Let it flow through you without fear. Let it flow from you without worry. And the universe will ensure it flows back to you without limit. Money is a mirror of your belief. If you believe giving weakens you, It will. If you believe giving strengthens you, it will. So choose strength. Choose joy. Choose faith. Say with a calm heart, I am a divine distributor of good. Money flows in. Money flows out, always in perfect rhythm. I live in the infinite flow of divine wealth. Every time you give, you expand the universe. Every time you bless, you open new channels. Every time you release, you rise higher in trust. You are not spending. You are sending love on assignment. Every note, every coin, every transaction carries your vibration. Let it carry peace. Let it carry gratitude. Let it carry divine confidence. Then, and when it returns, it brings companions, unexpected income, new ideas, kind people, open opportunities. All this comes because you chose to circulate instead of control. Say softly, money loves to move through me. I am safe to give. I am safe to receive. I am part of the divine circulation of infinite supply. Now feel that flow. It moves through you like golden light. From the source, through your heart, to the world, and back again. You are not the end of the flow. You are the channel. And as long as the channel stays open, the river never runs dry. Money is flowing. Blessings are flowing. It is all divine, and so it is. And so it continues, endlessly, under grace and in perfect harmony. Beloved soul, the outer world is only a mirror. Whatever you see in your finances is not punishment. It is reflection. Money does not come to prove your worth. It comes to reveal what you believe about it. When the inner world says, I am abundant, the outer world agrees. When the inner world says, I am afraid, the outer world echoes that fear. Everything you experience in your finances is feedback from your faith. And so the spiritual law says, as within, so without. The condition of your bank account is not your destiny. It is your vibration written in numbers. Say softly, my outer world mirrors my inner belief. I now choose faith over fear, gratitude over worry, and abundance over lack. Money does not appear by force. It appears by reflection. When you hold an image of plenty in your mind and gratitude in your heart, the universe must copy that pattern. It has no choice. The universe is a faithful mirror. It never disobeys your vibration. If you say, I never have enough, the mirror agrees. If you say, I am always provided for, the mirror agrees again. So speak what you want to see, not what you fear to feel. You do not fix a mirror by wiping the glass. You fix it by changing the image it reflects. You do not fix money by chasing it outside. You fix it by changing the thought within. Say this now. I am wealthy in emotion. I am abundant in word. Therefore, my outer life must reflect inner prosperity. There are no neutral thoughts. Every word you speak about money carries power. When you say, I can't afford, you shut the door. When you say, I'm open to the gates of heaven, money is not listening to your logic, it listens to your language. Your words are commands. Your affirmations are instructions to the universe. So every time you speak, speak as a creator. Say, I am grateful for the abundance I see, and for the abundance I am becoming. The poor in spirit are not those without money. They are those who forgot they are creators. True wealth begins in remembrance. You must remember that you are the image and likeness of infinite supply, not a beggar of it. You are not waiting for blessings. Blessings are waiting for your belief. You are not running toward wealth. Wealth is waiting for you to recognize it already surrounds you. Say with feeling, I see prosperity everywhere I go. I bless the wealth I see in others. I mirror it within myself. I am rich in consciousness. When you bless another's success, you become a match for it. When you envy it, you block it. Blessing is a mirror cleaner. It clears your reflection so that your own good can find you. Money mirrors your emotional home. If peace lives within you, peace lives within your finances. If gratitude fills your heart, opportunities will fill your days. If fear dominates your thinking, lack will visit until you release it. But do not be afraid of these reflections. They are not punishment. They are guidance. They are the universe saying, "Here is where you forgot your truth." Each moment of lack is a loving reminder to return to abundance. Say, "Now I am always provided for." The universe never forgets me. I am the reflection of divine wealth in motion. Your thoughts are magnets. Your emotions are mirrors. Together they shape the image called your life. That is why daily affirmation is sacred practice. It polishes the mirror of the mind. It replaces the dust of doubt with the shine of faith. Each morning you can choose to look into your mirror and declare, "Today I see wealth everywhere. Today I radiate abundance. Today I magnetize opportunities. Today I receive divine surprises." Soon, the mirror begins to respond. The right people appear, and the perfect timing unfolds. And you realize it was never luck. It was reflection. When you worry, your reflection darkens. When you trust, it brightens. When you love, it glows. Money follows light. Always say softly, "I am light. I am love. I am peace. I am prosperity." Money recognizes my light and mirrors it back to me as abundance. The truth is simple: you do not earn prosperity. You remember it. You do not chase money. You become its mirror. You do not fight for supply. You align with divine reflection. Each time you choose faith, you polish the mirror. Each time you bless instead of complain, you brighten the reflection. Each time you give thanks for what you have, you magnify what's coming. Let gratitude be your daily glass cleaner. Let love be your reflection. Let divine truth be your frame. And then watch your outer life transform quietly, beautifully, naturally. Not because you forced it, but because you reflected it. Say again, "My inner world is rich. My thoughts are abundant. My words are prosperous. My life reflects divine opulence. Money mirrors my peace." And when doubt tries to whisper, look into your inner mirror and say, "I see light. I see abundance. I see enough. I am enough." The mirror of wealth is never broken. It only waits for you to see clearly again. And the moment you do, divine order restores everything that was lost. So stand tall, breathe deeply, and affirms, "I am the reflection of divine abundance." Money flows toward my peace. Prosperity mirrors my gratitude. My reality now matches my faith. And so it is. And so it continues in perfect reflection, under grace and in divine light. There is a holy sound that calls money home, and that sound is silence. Not the silence of emptiness, but the silence of certainty. It is the silence that whispers, "It is already done." In that stillness, everything rearranges. In that peace, every delay dissolves. For when the heart is quiet, divine order speaks. Beloved, manifestation does not happen through noise. It happens through knowing. You do not need to shout your affirmations. You need to feel them. You do not need to chase opportunities. You need to allow them. Because the universe hears energy, not volume. And the most powerful energy in creation is peace. Say softly, "I am still. I am calm. I am safe." Money finds me in peace. Prosperity is drawn to my silence. The world will tell you to hustle. The world will tell you to run faster, work longer, shout louder. But the spirit whispers, "Be still and know." For manifestation is not about motion. It is about alignment. When you rest in faith, you attract through vibration. When you force in fear, you repel through tension. Peace is not laziness. Peace is the highest frequency of creation. Every great manifestation is conceived in stillness. The seed grows underground before it breaks through the soil. The butterfly forms in silence before it spreads its wings. And so it is with your wealth. It is forming now in unseen places, waiting for your calm acceptance to bring it forth. Say quietly, "I trust divine timing. I do not chase, I attract. I do not beg, I receive. I do not worry, I know. Silence is the sacred womb of manifestation. It is where ideas are born, where guidance arrives, where miracles organize themselves in divine order. When you stop doubting, the universe stops delaying. Every anxious thought sends confusion into your field. Every peaceful breath restores divine rhythm. So breathe deeply now and let the silence do the work. Money does not respond to panic, it responds to peace. It does not move toward noise, it moves toward calm. Because calm energy says, I already have it. And that is the vibration that creates. Say with gentle authority, I already have enough. I already am enough. I am grateful for my wealth now. Money loves my calm. Prosperity flows through my peace. When you sit in silence, you begin to hear divine ideas. They are the quiet nudges that say, call this person, or try this path, or sometimes, do nothing yet. The guidance of spirit is never frantic. It is always peaceful. And the golden silence is where that guidance becomes audible. The noise of the world says, work harder. The voice of spirit says, trust deeper. The noise says, there's not enough. The voice says, I will supply all your needs. The voice says, you're behind. The voice says, you are right on time. Repeat with faith, I am right on time. I am in divine flow. I am guided in every step. I manifest through peace, not pressure. When you dwell in the golden silence, money begins to come in unexpected ways. Checks arrive without asking. Opportunities appear without chasing. People say, I thought of you for this. This is divine order moving quietly in your favor. It happens not because you shouted, not because you thrusted, not because you forced, but because you aligned. Beloved, silence is magnetic. It tells the universe, I believe. It tells money, you are safe with me. It tells God, your timing is perfect. In this stillness, you are one with divine intelligence. You are no longer seeking answers. You are the answer. You are no longer asking for signs. You are the sign. Say with love, I am the embodiment of divine abundance. I manifest with ease. I manifest through peace. My silence is my superpower. Let go of urgency. Urgency is fear disguised as motivation. The universe does not respond to fear, it waits for faith. And faith is always calm. The moment you stop doubting, your manifestation begins. The moment you stop worrying, money starts moving. The moment you rest, the universe works. The golden silence is not of God. It is full of infinite supply, infinite wisdom, infinite love. And from that silence, miracles emerge naturally. Gracefully, say gently, I live in peace. I walk in trust. I rest in abundance. I know that all is well, and all will continue to be well. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not unseen. You are held by divine timing. You are guided by divine intelligence. And your wealth is unfolding even now, under grace and in perfect harmony. Let your silence become your prayer. Let your peace become your magnet. Let your stillness become your strategy. And when the world asks, how did you do it? You will smile and say, I did not chase. I aligned. I was still. And it came. I say once more, I am still and know. I am peace, and peace attracts abundance. Money loves my calm energy. Divine order is working for me now. And so it is. And so it will always be, in the golden silence of manifestation. Beloved, everything you have learned returns to this single truth. Love is prosperity. For when you live as love, you cannot live in lack. Love is the currency of heaven, and money is its messenger on earth. When you think, speak, and act in love, you are already rich, rich in vibration, rich in peace, rich in divine connection. Say softly, I live as love. I live as prosperity. Money follows love, and love flows through me endlessly. There is no separation between spiritual life and financial life. They are one river, not two. When you love what you do, You multiply the divine substance around you. When you love who you are, you open the gates of supply. When you love others freely, you create channels through which miracles travel back to you. Love never asks, "Will I have enough?" Love says, "I am enough." Love never fears giving. Love knows that what it gives returns multiplied. Say gently, "I am enough. I have enough. I give enough. I receive enough. I am divine abundance embodied." The true millionaire is the one whose heart is filled with peace. The true wealthy one is the soul who blesses even the smallest coin. You are that soul now. You are no longer waiting for proof of prosperity. You are living it by thought, by tone, by tenderness. When you bless the morning sun, wealth hears you. When you smile at a stranger, opportunity smiles back. When you give without fear, you become the hands of God distributing good. Say again, "I am the hands of divine abundance. I am the voice of prosperity. I am the heart of generosity. I am love in motion." There was a time when you believed money would complete you. Now you see, you were never incomplete. Money is not the master, it is the mirror. When love expands inside you, wealth simply reflects it. You are no longer chasing, you are creating. You are no longer striving, you are allowing. You are no longer wishing, you are witnessing divine law in action. Every breath you take is a transaction of abundance. Inhale faith, exhale gratitude. Every heartbeat is a receipt of supply. The universe confirming, you are supported. Say quietly, "With every breath I receive, with every breath I give, abundance circulates through me as life itself." You have learned the rhythm: receive, key bless. Key release, return. This is the eternal circulation of love. Money is only one instrument playing in that grand symphony. Peace is the melody. Gratitude is the harmony. Love is the conductor. And when you live this way, nothing can truly be taken from you. For what leaves your hand cannot leave your vibration. It will return through new forms, new channels, new grace. Say once more, "I bless all that goes. I welcome all that comes. I live in divine circulation. I live in divine love." The future no longer frightens you because you have entered timelessness. You know that divine supply never sleeps, never pauses, never fails. Even now, unseen opportunities are aligning. Unseen helpers are preparing, unseen finding its path toward you. Be still and smile. You have become the magnet. Not because of struggle, but because of surrender. Not because of greed, but because of grace. Say softly, "I surrender to divine order. I live under grace. I walk in overflowing good. Everything I touch is blessed, multiplied, and made holy." This is the way of spiritual prosperity. Not grasping, but glowing. Not hoarding, but harmonizing. Not fearing, but flowering. Love is the seed, faith is the soil, gratitude is the rain, and peace is the harvest. You have planted well. You have watered daily with words of power. Now watch your garden grow without limit. Say gently, "I reap miracles daily. I live in infinite supply. Money loves me. I love all that is, and in that love, lack dissolves forever. Fear melts, shame disappears. Effort turns into ease. You stand as the living testimony that divine abundance is real. Not someday, not somehow, but here, now, always." Close your eyes and breathe this final truth into your heart. I am one with the rich substance of the universe. Money loves me, and I love the circulation of good. I live as love. I live as prosperity. I live as divine light in form. Let that vibration expand outward, touching your home, your family, your work, your dreams. Everything responds to this new frequency. Everything aligns with this new identity. You have remembered who you are: a divine being, endlessly supplied, eternally loved, forever abundant, and so it is, and so it continues, under grace, in perfect harmony, without end, forever flowing, forever giving, forever receiving.
The universe is not a place of lack, but a treasury of overflowing good, waiting to be claimed by the one who knows their divine inheritance. There is a law, immutable, unfailing and ever-present, that responds not to fear, not to doubt, but to the spoken word wrapped in faith. When the right word is spoken with conviction, the invisible becomes visible, the unseen becomes substance, and wealth rushes forth as though it had been standing at the door, awaiting a single knock. For too long, many have believed that money is hard to earn, that fortune must be chased, or that opportunity belongs to others. Yet, this is but an illusion, a shadow cast upon the radiant light of truth. Supply does not come from labor alone, nor from chance, but from alignment with divine order. And that order is called forth by the tongue that knows its power. The word, when spoken rightly, becomes a decree to which the universe must bow. Every dollar, every opportunity, every golden door is already yours in the great storehouse of the infinite. It does not need to be created, it only needs to be summoned. And summoning does not require strain or striving, only certainty. The power is in your mouth and the key is in your consciousness. Speak as one who has already received. Declare as one whose treasure is already unlocked, for when the mind and the word walk hand in hand, the world rearranges itself to fulfill the decree. There are 3 exact words, simple as a breath, yet mighty as a command. They do not beg, they do not plead, they declare. And the moment they are spoken in alignment with unwavering faith, the current of supply begins to move. It moves through expected paths, and it moves through unexpected ones. It may come as a check, a contract, a gift, or a miraculous turn, but it will come. The universe has no resistance to wealth. It has no judgment of sums. To it, $500,000, 0 cents, is no different from $5, 0 cents. It answers the tone of the command, not the number in the request. And when the words are spoken with the royal authority of divine inheritance, supply cannot delay, it must obey. Within you is the scepter of dominion. It is not held in your hand, but upon your tongue. When you speak, worlds are shaped. When you declare, doors open. There is no distance between you and your $500,000, 0 cents, except the veil of doubt, and that veil dissolves in the flame of certainty. These 3 words, spoken with divine assurance, are not mere language. They are a key that unlocks the vault of abundance. Speak them as law, speak them as truth, speak them as already done. The universe is listening, it has always been listening. And the moment you speak with the power of a decree, your fortune begins to move toward you, swift and certain, like a river returning to the sea. The spoken word is a decree of power. When one begins to truly understand this, the world no longer appears as a place of random events and uncertain outcomes, but as a mirror reflecting the authority of every utterance. Every word carries a vibration, a frequency, and that frequency moves through the unseen, shaping substance into form. Words are not mere sounds in the air, they are commands issued to the invisible forces that govern the scene. The moment the word is spoken with conviction, it sets in motion a chain of unseen movements, aligning circumstances, opportunities, people, and events with the intention carried within it. There is an ancient law that says the word, once spoken, cannot return void. It must accomplish what it was sent out to do. This is not poetry, it is spiritual mechanics. Just as gravity responds to physical mass, universal law responds to spoken decrees. A word backed by faith is not a request, it is a command. It does not wonder, it does not wait to be approved, it declares, and the moment that declaration is released, the universe begins its silent rearrangement to make the decree real in form. When one speaks from fear, the power of the decree still operates, but it summons that which fear has declared. When one speaks from faith, it summons that which faith has claimed. The law does not discriminate between positive or negative, desired or undesired, fair or unfair. It is impartial, precise, and unwavering. The word is the signal and the universe is the receiver. What is sent must be received, and what is received must be manifested. Many imagine that wealth, health, or opportunity comes through external action alone, but all action is secondary to the word. Before there is a movement of hands, there is a movement of speech. Before there is the building of structures, there is the issuing of decrees. Every great work begins not with effort, but with a word. And not any word, but a word spoken with conviction. The faint whisper of a doubtful mind carries little weight, but the steady tone of assured authority reshapes reality. The word carries power because it is the instrument through which consciousness imprints itself upon the unseen. When the tongue moves, the mind gives shape to what it holds, and the universe receives it as law. There is no neutral word. Every utterance carries a seed. Some sow abundance, some sow lack, some sow love, some sow fear. Each seed falls into the fertile soil of universal law, and each must bear fruit after its kind. The one who understands this begins to guard their speech with reverence. They do not speak casually about lack, defeat, or limitation, for they know each careless word is a decree that sets something in motion. They speak only that which they desire to see, and they speak it not as a hope, but as an established fact. They speak it as a decree already fulfilled, for the universe moves not for those who wish, but for those who declare. When one speaks wealth, they must speak it as if it already stands before them. The tone of command is not born from arrogance, but from knowing. Knowing that the universe is abundant. Knowing that supply is endless. Knowing that every word carries creative power. When they say, "I am wealthy," they are not pleading, they are declaring. And the moment they declare, everything begins to respond. Channels open, paths appear, coincidences align, and doors that seemed closed reveal themselves to have been waiting for the spoken word to turn the key. Power does not reside in the complexity of language, but in the certainty of its delivery. A single phrase, when spoken with unwavering faith, outweighs 1,000 prayers wrapped in doubt. This is why some speak briefly and mountains move, while others speak endlessly and nothing stirs. It is not the number of words, but the power behind them that commands the unseen to obey. When one stands in the awareness of their own authority, their words gain weight. The tone changes. It carries the resonance of someone who is not asking the world to give, but telling the world what is already theirs. And this is the essence of a decree. A decree does not beg. It does not wonder. It is spoken as law. And law is not debated. Law is obeyed. The spoken word operates like a royal seal pressed into wax. Once impressed, the shape remains. The universe holds that impression and begins to form around it. Whether one is aware of it or not, every day they issue dozens of such seals through their speech. Some declare limitation unknowingly. "I never have enough. Things never work for me. Money is hard to get." And the universe, being a perfect servant, obeys without judgment. It shapes itself around those words, and reality bends to match the decree. Others speak differently. "Wealth flows to me. Everything works in my favor. I am surrounded by abundance." And again, the universe obeys, shaping itself to reflect the spoken decree. Words spoken in faith carry a certain frequency. They pierce through doubt like a blade through fog. They do not wait for proof before they are spoken. They create proof through their utterance. This is why the one who waits to see before they speak remains waiting, while the one who speaks before they see finds that what they spoke begins to appear. The power is never in waiting, it is in declaring. Words are powerful. The greatest secret is that every individual carries this authority within them, yet few wield it consciously. They use their words as idle expressions rather than instruments of creation. But the moment one begins to speak deliberately, they cease to be a wanderer in circumstance and become the architect of their world. Each word becomes a brick, each sentence a beam, each declaration a foundation stone, and upon that foundation, a new reality is built. The spoken word does not require permission to work. It is already working. Whether one acknowledges it or not, it shapes their daily experience. What changes everything is the shift from unconscious utterance to deliberate decree. To speak not as one describing life, but as one designing it. To let every word carry intention, every phrase carry certainty, every sentence carry authority. There is no need for eloquence or complexity. The power is not in the decoration of language, but in the force behind it. A simple word, when charged with belief, can move more than an elaborate speech wrapped in uncertainty. This is why affirmations without conviction fall flat, while a single quiet statement of faith can part seas of impossibility. The word spoken with power does not ask whether it will work. It knows. It is not concerned with the how, for the how belongs to the unseen. The word's task is to command, and the universe's task is to deliver. This is the great partnership between the speaker and the unseen forces. One declares, the other obeys. One speaks the law, the other carries it out. The more one practices deliberate speech, the stronger their decree becomes. Words spoken with hesitation lose force, but words spoken with clarity and authority ripple through existence like a stone cast into still water. The ripples spread, touching everything, moving everything, drawing all things into alignment with the original decree. The more this law is understood and applied, the less random life seems, and the more obedient it becomes to the word that commands it. Every fortune begins as a word. Every healing begins as a word. Every opportunity begins as a word. Before gold changes hands, before doors open, before anything takes form, someone speaks. The decree is the seed and manifestation is the harvest. The spoken word holds this timeless power, and it is always waiting to be used consciously by the one who understands its law. Wealth is summoned, not chased. The world has taught many to run after riches, as if abundance were a wild creature to be captured, but this is the great illusion that keeps many trapped in endless striving. True wealth is not something that flees, hiding itself behind distant doors. It is a presence already existing in the invisible, awaiting a rightful claim. The one who understands the laws of the unseen knows that wealth does not come from desperate effort, but from a centered, unwavering decree. To chase something is to declare it separate, distant, and beyond reach. To summon something is to know it belongs to you and to call it forth. With the authority of that knowing. The chase is born from fear. It whispers, if I do not run, I will lose it. It shouts, if I do not grasp, I will never have it. But fear only creates more running, more grasping, more distance. The harder one chases, the farther the object seems to drift. This is the rhythm of lack, the endless treadmill of pursuit without arrival. But summoning moves differently. It does not run. It stands still and commands. It does not beg, it declares. It does not doubt, it knows. The one who summons does not lean outward but inward, for the source of wealth is not outside but within. The great law responds not to struggle but to vibration. When you chase, you emit the signal of lack. You say, I do not have, but I want. The universe, being a perfect mirror, returns more experiences of wanting, more reflections of not having. But when you summon, you speak from possession, not desire. You say, it is mine now, and the universe answers with evidence of that claim, others, the seen and unseen, the expected and unexpected, and places before you the reflection of your spoken law. Wealth, like all things, is drawn to certainty. It moves toward the voice that commands with quiet power, not the hand that grasps in fear. Those who chase exhaust themselves in endless effort, thinking their value is measured by their running. Those who summon move in stillness, knowing their word is stronger than their chase. Wealth is not earned through strain alone. It is magnetized through alignment with divine order. The earth does not chase the sun. It simply moves in its rightful orbit, and the sun's light is constant. Likewise, wealth does not need to be hunted. It needs to be aligned with. To summon wealth is to recognize your inheritance. It is to know that the treasure is not something you must prove yourself worthy of. It is already waiting in the invisible vault of possibility. When you stand in that knowing, your voice carries a different tone. It is calm, it is steady, it is not pleading for supply, but commanding its arrival. And when that tone is released, things begin to move in silence. Opportunities appear where there were none. Channels open where walls once stood. People and events align with precision. Chasing wealth is noisy. It is filled with doubt, comparison, envy, and hurry. Summoning wealth is silent. It is rooted in the quiet certainty of divine order. When one chases, they say, it is over there. When one summons, they say, it is here now. The universe responds to the present, not the distant. It delivers what is declared to be already so. The one who summons does not concern themselves with how the wealth will arrive. That belongs to the unseen. Their only task is to issue the decree with unwavering faith. They do not chase because they understand that chasing is the language of lack. They summon because they understand that summoning is the language of possession. The word spoken with possession creates magnetic pull. It is like lighting a beacon that draws what belongs to you into your orbit. Many have been taught to pursue wealth as though it resists them, as though the universe must be wrestled into giving. But the universe resists nothing. It gives in perfect reflection. The chase is a statement of separation, and separation keeps the door locked. Summoning is a statement of ownership, and ownership swings the door open. The moment one stops chasing and begins summoning, the energy shifts. The same world that once seemed hard, distant, and indifferent begins to flow. Wealth has no power to hide from you. It is simply waiting for the signal of certainty. When one stands firm in their authority, wealth recognizes its rightful owner. Like iron to a magnet, like a river flowing to the sea, supply moves to meet the one who knows it is already theirs. This is not arrogance, this is alignment, this is not demand, this is law. To summon wealth, one must become still within. The restless heart cannot summon, for it is too busy chasing shadows. But the heart that is still speaks with a voice the universe cannot ignore. It says, I have already received, and the invisible rushes to clothe that statement in form. This is why the most powerful movements happen not in frantic action, but in silent certainty. When one chases, they often believe wealth is limited. They see others as competitors, opportunities as scarce, and fortune as something to be seized before it's gone. But summoning carries no such illusion. It knows that wealth is infinite, flowing in endless supply. It knows that nothing can be taken that belongs to another, and nothing can be withheld that is already theirs. This awareness removes fear, envy, and haste. It creates a space where the decree can take root. Chasing is rooted in the belief that abundance must be earned through suffering. Summoning is rooted in the knowing that abundance is a natural right. When one stops running, the current begins to flow. It is like standing in a river. If you chase the water downstream, it always seems ahead, but when you stand still, the current surrounds you. It is already here. The one who summons does not exhaust themselves proving their worthiness. They do not overwork from fear of losing. They act from inspiration, not desperation. Their steps are guided, not frantic. Their speech is clear, not clouded. They know that their wealth is already appointed to them, waiting for the decree to set it in motion. When the language of chase falls away, the language of command takes its place. Words shift from I hope, I want, and I need, to I have, I receive, and it is done. These words do not chase, they draw in. They summon wealth as a magnet summons metal. They carry a force the universe recognizes as law. There is a deep difference between activity born of fear and action born of faith. The chaser moves endlessly, uncertain, afraid that stillness means loss. The summoner moves with purpose, not urgency. Their actions are precise because they are not trying to create wealth, they are aligning with it. Chasing scatters energy, summoning concentrates it. Wealth responds to alignment. It does not answer frantic footsteps. It answers quiet authority. To summon wealth is to remember that abundance is not hiding. It is waiting. It waits for the one who speaks, not from the hunger of lack, but from the calm certainty of possession. This is why those who chase often find themselves tired and empty, while those who summon walk into opportunities with grace. The invisible realm is full of riches, and it does not resist giving. It waits for the one who issues the command. The universe is not impressed by running feet, it is moved by steady voices. The moment one ceases chasing and begins summoning, the chase ends. Because the distance disappears. Wealth is no longer out there, it is here now. Summoning wealth is not a performance. It is not about shouting louder or trying harder. It is about standing in quiet dominion. It is about speaking with the tone of one who knows their inheritance cannot be taken, delayed, or denied. It is about replacing the language of pursuit with the language of arrival. When that tone is reached, wealth responds swiftly, not because it was hiding, but because the door was finally opened. The energy of chase creates walls. The energy of summon removes them. The chaser is always outside, looking in. The summoner stands inside, calling forth what belongs to them. This is why true wealth comes easily to those who have stopped running and begun speaking. They understand the law. Wealth is not hunted, it is summoned. Faith unlocks invisible supply. It is not labor alone that opens doors, nor the frantic grasping of hands, but the steady, unwavering power of belief that turns the unseen into the seen. Faith is the key that fits every lock, the invisible hand that reaches into the hidden treasury and brings forth what already belongs to you. There is an ocean of supply around every soul, unseen, waiting to be touched not by doubt, but by faith. When faith moves, the invisible responds. It does not hesitate, it does not bargain, it obeys the tone of certainty. Faith is not blind, it is the clearest vision there is. It looks beyond appearances, beyond circumstances, beyond what eyes can see, and claims what the Spirit already knows to be true. The one who walks in faith does not wait for evidence before they believe. They believe, and evidence bends to their belief. Faith is not a wish, it is a command issued from inner authority. It is the quiet voice that says, "It is mine now," while the world still whispers, "I see nothing." It is the unwavering stance that does not collapse when appearances contradict the decree. Invisible supply is endless. There is no shortage in the unseen. Lack exists only in perception, not in reality. Faith reaches into this abundant realm and draws out what belongs to the one who believes. It does not beg the universe to deliver. It declares it done and allows the universe to shape itself accordingly. When faith is firm, the unseen becomes obedient. When faith is shaky, the unseen remains unformed, waiting for a clear instruction. Many search for supply through fear and effort alone, but fear cannot touch what is invisible. It builds walls instead of opening gates. Fear doubts, delays, and diminishes. Faith opens, accelerates, and multiplies. Faith does not argue with reality, it reshapes it. It is not concerned with the path, only the promise. It does not need to know how the supply will arrive. It knows that once the key is turned, the vault must open. Invisible supply surrounds every individual, whether they believe in it or not. It is like a river beneath the ground. Some walk thirsty upon the earth, convinced there is no water, while others strike the earth with faith and watch water gush forth. The supply was always there, but faith was the tool that opened the channel. This is why two people can stand in the same place under the same conditions, yet one walks in abundance and the other in lack. It is not the place that changes, it is the level of faith. Faith is a force that speaks to the unseen with the language it understands. The unseen does not respond to worry. It does not respond to struggle. It responds to certainty. When faith speaks, the invisible listens. It listens because faith carries the tone of divine authority, the vibration of ownership. It is not a stranger's voice asking to be heard. It is the rightful heir calling for what belongs to them. The act of faith is an act of unlocking. It is not creating wealth from nothing, but calling forth what already exists in the realm beyond sight. Every desire aligned with divine law is already finished in the invisible, before it is seen in the visible. Faith is the bridge that brings it through. Without faith, the bridge remains unfinished, and the supply remains waiting on the other side. With faith, the bridge is whole, and supply walks across. Faith is quiet but fierce. It does not panic when nothing seems to move. It stands still and knows the movement has already begun in the unseen. While doubt trembles and rushes to fix what it cannot control, faith stands like a pillar that cannot be moved. It trusts the invisible to do its perfect work. It knows that supply is never lost, only unclaimed. Invisible supply is limitless. There is no ceiling to what faith can draw forth. It is not measured by how hard one works or how much one worries. It is measured by how much one believes. Faith can open doors that effort cannot find. It can summon wealth, opportunities, connections, and solutions from directions that the logical mind could never imagine. This is why faith appears mysterious to those who rely on sight alone, but to the one who walks in it, it is simply law. Doubt whispers, "Show me and I will believe." Faith answers, "I believe and it will show." The difference is everything. Doubt binds the invisible, keeping supply locked away. Faith releases it. The one who doubts builds barriers without realizing it. They speak the language of lack, and the unseen obeys their uncertainty by remaining still. The one who believes speaks the language of ownership, and the unseen responds with movement. Faith does not require strength in the outer world. It requires firmness in the inner world. It is not about forcing results with hands, but commanding them with spirit. The person of faith may stand in what appears to be emptiness, and yet call forth abundance as if it were already there. They may stand before closed doors but speak as if they are already open. And in time, the world bends to match their conviction. Faith is the only true currency in the invisible realm. It is the seal that verifies every decree. Without faith, words are whispers carried away by the wind. With faith, words are thunder that shakes reality. This is why those who speak with belief often see rapid manifestations, while those who speak with doubt see none. The power is not merely in the word but in the faith behind it. Invisible supply cannot be earned through fear, but it can be unlocked through trust. It is already appointed, already held in reserve, waiting for the rightful claim. Faith is the claim. It is the signature that says, "This is mine," without hesitation, and once signed, the invisible must release what was already prepared. This is not about waiting for miracles. This is about understanding that the miracle is already complete, only unseen. Faith is not loud, but it is unshakable. It does not need to shout to be heard by the universe. Even a whisper, when carried by faith, has the strength of a roar. The unseen does not measure volume. It measures certainty. This is why a quiet, unwavering decree, spoken once in faith, carries more power than endless repetitions spoken in doubt. Invisible supply is like a well behind a locked gate. Doubt keeps trying to climb the fence, exhausting itself. Faith walks to the gate, inserts the key, and turns it. The gate swings open, not because the well suddenly appeared, but because it was always there. Faith does not build the well, it reveals it. Every individual carries this key. It is not given to a few. It is not a gift of chance. It is a law. Faith is the same power that moves mountains, opens doors, and draws fortune. It does not discriminate. It answers whoever wields it with conviction. This is why the one who believes walks in abundance, even when others see only barrenness. Faith operates beyond time. It speaks in the language of now. It does not say, "one day." It says, "it is." And the moment faith says it is, the invisible aligns itself to make it so. This is why the path often appears after the step of faith is taken, not before. The bridge is built as one walks, not while one waits. The invisible realm moves according to belief. It is always listening, always waiting for instruction. Fear issues one command, faith issues another. The unseen is impartial. It obeys whichever voice is stronger. When faith stands taller than fear, the invisible begins to pour itself into visible form. It is not a question of whether the supply exists, it always exists. The question is whether faith is unlocking it, or doubt is keeping it closed. Faith is the stillness that commands movement. It is the calm in the midst of appearances. It does not sway with every wind of circumstance. It is the rooted knowing that the invisible always answers the voice of belief. It is the unwavering certainty that the treasury is already full, waiting to be opened. The universe responds to certainty. It does not answer hesitation, wavering, or doubt. It listens to the tone beneath the words, the energy behind the decree. When certainty speaks, the universe bends. When doubt whispers, it remains still. Certainty is not loud, but it is absolute. It is the quiet authority that does not beg or wonder. It declares, and the declaration becomes law. The unseen forces that shape reality are drawn to certainty, the way rivers are drawn to the sea. They gather around it, align with it, and bring form to its decree. Certainty is a language, and the universe is fluent in it. When you speak from certainty, you are not asking the world to approve of your desire. You are announcing what already is. The universe does not respond to confusion because confusion carries no command. It does not respond to desperation because desperation carries no clarity. But certainty carries the weight of creation itself. It is not asking for permission, it is setting the order. This is why two people can speak the same words, and yet one sees doors open while the other sees nothing move. The difference is not in the syllables spoken, but in the certainty carried within them. A word spoken without faith is an echo that fades. A word spoken with certainty is a decree that rearranges the invisible. It sends a clear signal through the unseen, and the unseen moves to answer. Certainty is a state of being, not just a thought. It lives in the tone, in the stillness of the heart, in the strength of the mind that does not shift when appearances contradict the decree. When one speaks with certainty, they do not look around for signs. They know the sign is already set in motion. They do not wait to be convinced by outer evidence, because their certainty is the evidence. The universe has no choice but to mirror certainty. It is bound to law, and certainty is law in motion. Doubt, on the other hand, is like static. It sends mixed signals, blurring the decree, delaying the manifestation. Certainty is a clear frequency, like a note struck perfectly. It resonates through the unseen, drawing matching conditions into form. The one who lives in certainty does not waver. When appearances show lack, they remain unmoved. When circumstances contradict their decree, they hold the decree steady. The power is not in reacting to what is seen, but in standing firm in what is known. The universe reads certainty like a command that cannot be broken. When the signal is clear, the response is inevitable. Certainty is what separates a wish from a command. A wish floats in the air, hoping to land somewhere. A command lands with precision, claiming its territory. Certainty is the power behind that command. It is not forceful, but it is unshakable. It does not question. It does not negotiate. It speaks once, and the universe obeys. Those who doubt often speak many words, hoping repetition will create power. But words without certainty are like arrows without aim. They may fly, but they hit nothing. Those who stand in certainty speak few words, yet each one is a pillar. Each one carries the weight of law. Each one cuts through the invisible like a blade through fog, making way for what has already been claimed. Certainty is quiet strength. It does not shout to prove itself. It simply is. And because it simply is, the universe must answer it. The unseen does not resist certainty, because certainty and universal law are one and the same. To speak with certainty is to speak in the language of creation itself. Certainty is not arrogance. It is alignment. It is not pretending. It is knowing. It is standing so firmly in the reality of the unseen that no appearance can shake it. It is the unwavering voice that speaks not of what may happen, but of what is already done. This is why certainty carries power. It does not move with the tides of emotion. It moves the tides. The universe is responsive, not reactive. It does not choose what to respond to. It mirrors what is sent to it. If you send uncertainty, you receive more of the same. If you send certainty, the reflection is clear. This is why those who live in certainty often appear to others as if they walk in unusual favor. It is not chance. It is law. When certainty is present, obstacles dissolve. Not because the world changes on its own, but because certainty alters the field in which the world moves. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. What once seemed delayed becomes immediate. The universe bends around certainty, the way light bends around a flame. Certainty is not built on outer circumstances. It does not depend on what the eyes can see. It is born from the inner knowing that reality is shaped from within outward. Those who wait for external confirmation before believing remain in waiting. Those who believe first, without proof, call proof to themselves. Certainty goes first, the universe follows. The power of certainty is felt not only in words, but in the silence between them. A single statement, when wrapped in certainty, carries more power than endless chatter. The universe listens to the vibration, not the noise. It listens to the unwavering core, not the restless mind. Certainty does not fidget. It does not question the timing. It does not doubt the unfolding. It stands. When one speaks with certainty, their energy shifts. They no longer act like seekers but like owners. They do not chase what they have already claimed. They move through the world with the stillness of someone who knows their treasure is already theirs. The universe responds to this energy, not because it is forced to, but because it recognizes its own language in that certainty. Certainty is like a beacon. It sends a clear signal into the unseen, and everything aligned with that signal begins to move toward it. People, opportunities, ideas, resources, all begin to rearrange themselves to match the certainty that has been spoken. The clearer the certainty, the faster the alignment. Doubt scatters the signal, certainty gathers it. The law is precise. It does not bend for emotion, but it answers unwavering command. When certainty is steady, the manifestation is inevitable. It may come in unexpected ways, through paths unseen, but it will come. The invisible realm does not resist a clear decree. It moves to fulfill it. Certainty is an inner posture. It is not something one waits to feel. It is something one decides to stand in. It is the deliberate anchoring of the mind and spirit in the truth of what is already claimed. When that anchoring is complete, words carry power, thoughts carry direction, and the universe carries the response. When appearances contradict the decree, the uncertain waver. But the certain grow stiller, firmer, like a mountain unmoved by wind. The universe sees that stillness, that clarity, that unwavering faith, and responds accordingly. It does not respond to panic. It does not respond to fear. It responds to the authority of certainty. Certainty is a force that clears paths. It does not chase answers, it attracts them. It does not beg the universe for signs, it creates them. It does not wait for alignment, it is alignment. When one stands in certainty, the whole structure of reality begins to rearrange to match it. This is why those who walk in certainty often appear as though doors open for them before they knock. It is not luck. It is the universe responding to a clear command. The uncertain knock timidly, wondering if they belong. The certain walk as if the door is already open, and the universe, mirroring their stance, opens it. Certainty is the ground upon which all manifestation stands. Without it, words fall flat. With it, even a whisper carries power. The universe does not measure volume. It measures conviction. It listens not to the noise of doubt, but to the tone of authority. When that tone is present, the response is inevitable. To live in certainty is to live as one who already possesses. It is to release the need to plead or chase. It is to speak once and let the law fulfill itself. It is to trust the invisible more than the visible. It is to know that the universe is not deciding whether to give. It is waiting for a clear signal. Certainty is that signal. The universe responds to certainty like a shadow to light. It cannot resist it, it cannot delay it, it mirrors it. Certainty speaks the language of the unseen, and the unseen answers without hesitation. 3 words spoken with authority command abundance, not because the words themselves are magic, but because authority is the key that unlocks their power. Words without authority are like keys that do not fit the lock. Words spoken with authority open vaults that doubt can never touch. When 3 words are released from the place of inner dominion, the universe bows to their decree. It is not the length of speech that moves mountains, but the strength behind it. A single phrase, wrapped in certainty, has the power to shift everything. Authority is not noise, nor is it aggression. It is quiet strength, the steady voice that speaks as law. It does not plead with the universe, it commands it. It does not ask if abundance is available. It declares that it is already present. When authority speaks, the unseen recognizes its tone. The invisible realm does not resist authority because it flows from the same law that governs it. When 3 words are spoken in alignment with faith and certainty, they do not drift into the air like a casual wish. They are like lightning striking the ground, charging the atmosphere with purpose. They ripple through the unseen, summoning resources, opportunities, people, and pathways to align with the decree. Authority does not wonder if it will work. It knows. That knowing is what makes the words unbreakable. The universe does not respond to empty repetition. It responds to the voice of command. Many speak the right words but carry no authority within them, and the universe remains still. Others speak few words, but their spirit stands behind each syllable like a pillar, and the universe moves at once. It is never about quantity, it is about power. Authority is born from the recognition of inheritance. One does not beg for what already belongs to them, one claims it. The rightful heir does not whisper at the gate, they open it. When 3 words are spoken with this inner claim, abundance rushes forth. The universe cannot withhold what has been spoken in its own language. To speak with authority is to speak from the center, not the edges of uncertainty. It is to stand firm in the knowing that abundance is not far away, not scarce, not reluctant. It is present, waiting for the decree to call it forward. These 3 words are not chosen at random. They carry intention, precision, and finality. When they are spoken, they do not leave space for doubt to creep in. They seal the decree like a signature seals a contract. Authority moves differently than hope. Hope looks outward, wondering if something might happen. Authority looks inward, knowing it already has. Hope knocks timidly on the door. Authority walks through it. This is why 3 words spoken with authority can accomplish more than 1,000 spoken in fear. The universe answers to the one who speaks as if it has already heard the answer. Abundance is obedient to authority. It does not belong to the realm of the hesitant. It moves toward the one who speaks, like an owner, not a beggar. When these 3 words are released, they act like a beacon in the invisible. They call abundance forth, not through force, but through law. They do not chase wealth, they summon it. They do not search for open doors, they create them. The voice of authority is calm. It does not tremble, even when appearances show nothing. It does not waver when circumstances seem silent. It knows that once the words are spoken, movement begins. It does not try to control how the universe will deliver. It simply commands the delivery. This calmness is not weakness. It is power wrapped in silence. 3 words can shift everything because they carry concentrated energy. When spoken with authority, they pierce through resistance like light through darkness. They leave no room for uncertainty to tangle the decree. They are sharp, clean, and final. The universe thrives on clarity, and authority gives it. Authority does not need approval from the world. It does not wait for signs to validate its power. It speaks, and the signs follow. It moves first. Evidence follows after. When these words are released, they imprint upon the unseen like a royal seal upon wax. The seal does not ask whether the wax will take the shape. It knows it must. Many speak abundance into the air but do not stand behind their words. Their voices are soft, uncertain, laced with hidden fears. The universe hears the fear beneath the language and mirrors it. Others speak with the stillness of authority. Their tone carries the weight of completion. Their decree does not ask, it establishes. It does not wait. It activates. Authority is not a performance. It cannot be faked. It is not about raising one's voice or forcing conviction. It is about knowing. It is about speaking from a place where the outcome is already done. When the decree is spoken from that place, everything begins to align. 3 words, spoken in this way, act like a command to the invisible forces. They summon abundance in its many forms: wealth, opportunity, connection, doors that had not been seen before. Authority knows abundance is not limited, it is infinite, waiting to flow wherever it is claimed without hesitation. When one speaks with authority, they do not repeat themselves out of fear the universe has not heard. They speak once, and the echo moves through the unseen, gathering everything required to fulfill the decree. Just as a general does not repeat an order once it has been given, the one who speaks abundance does not doubt the command they issued. The power is in the stillness after the decree, not in the noise of repetition. Authority is steady. It does not shake with time. It does not waver if results do not appear immediately. It stands because it knows the law is working. The universe moves with precision, not panic, and authority mirrors that. The decree does not need to be loud to be heard. Even a whisper, if spoken with authority, has the strength of thunder in the unseen. These 3 words carry weight because they are concentrated power. They are not diluted with hesitation or dressed in uncertainty. They are spoken once and meant. The universe recognizes this tone because it is the same tone that governs creation itself. It is the language of law, not of begging. Authority speaks from identity. It speaks from knowing who it is and what belongs to it. It does not come from desperation or need, but from divine right. This is why abundance answers swiftly to authority. It knows the difference between someone asking for permission and someone claiming their place. When authority is present, scarcity loses its grip. The invisible shifts in response to the decree, and what was unseen begins to move toward visibility. Doors that were invisible begin to reveal themselves. People appear, opportunities align, pathways open. The 3 words spoken with authority act like a magnetic pulse, pulling everything into formation. Abundance is not distant, it is responsive, it is always listening, always waiting for a clear, certain command. Authority gives it that clarity. 3 words can open gates that struggle could not move. Not because the words are special, but because they are spoken from the place where doubt has no seat. Authority is the difference between asking and claiming, between hoping and creating, between waiting and receiving. The one who stands in authority does not chase after what is already theirs. They summon it with ease, and the universe responds because it must. 3 words spoken with this kind of inner power become a decree carved into the fabric of reality. They are not suggestions, they are not requests, they are law. They echo through the unseen, and everything within that unseen begins to rearrange itself to make them true. When this authority is claimed, the speaker becomes immovable. They do not seek signs to strengthen their words because their words are already the sign. They do not wonder when abundance will come because it is already in motion. They stand still, not because they are idle, but because they know the command has already gone forth. Abundance recognizes authority the way water recognizes gravity. It cannot resist it. It flows toward it naturally without struggle. The one who speaks these three words from their core becomes the center of a magnetic field of creation. Their decree is not fragile. It is final. It is not a hope. It is a law. When these words are spoken, they leave the realm of thought and enter the realm of creation. They carry the weight of completion, not the uncertainty of a wish. They are rooted in faith, wrapped in certainty, and released with authority. The universe listens to nothing more closely than it listens to authority. There is a divine intelligence in the universe that hears every word we speak and answers every vibration we send forth. Money, too, is part of that living current of intelligence. It is not cold metal or lifeless paper, but a responsive energy, sensitive to thought, tone, and intention. When we speak of money as though it were distant, scarce, or difficult to attain, it obeys our command and stays away. But when we call it lovingly, when we speak its name with assurance, as though summoning a trusted friend, it hears us and comes swiftly, joyfully, and in perfect order. Money has ears, not physical ears, but the subtle hearing of vibration. It listens to the frequency of our words, the rhythm of our emotions, and the melody of our beliefs. When we say, "I never have enough," money quietly bows and withdraws. When we say, "I am a magnet for abundance," money flows to me easily and constantly. The invisible substance of supply begins to stir and move toward us, finding channels, opportunities, and blessings to deliver what we have already claimed in spirit. Every word is a seed, and money, like fertile soil, receives our spoken word and brings it to life. The careless word of lack plants weeds. The deliberate word of prosperity plants flowers. The universe cannot differentiate between jest or seriousness. It only echoes what it hears. Thus, when we speak, we must speak with divine authority, knowing that money listens. Say its name with love, not fear. Call it forth with confidence, not desperation. Say, "Money, you are welcome in my life. You are a servant of good, and you come in increasing measure to bless and to expand every good thing I do." Money delights in order and purpose. It hastens toward those who use it wisely and speak of it honorably. The soul that sees money as a channel of divine circulation will never be without it, for what is honored multiplies. The individual who sees money as selfish gain or as a master rather than a servant chases it endlessly but never holds it. We must remember, money belongs to the realm of spirit, and spirit is never poor. When we align with this truth, when our words become the words of faith and gratitude, we tune our lives to the frequency where wealth abides. Let us then begin to speak to our money as we would to a faithful friend. Let us say, "Money, you are divine energy in form. You are the echo of my creative thought. You hear me when I call, and you respond to my faith." Speak this with calm assurance, for every syllable spoken in truth vibrates through the unseen, and the unseen rushes to fulfill the spoken word. Money has ears, and it listens for the voice that calls it by name with joy, confidence, and gratitude. Money is living energy that responds to thought and vibration. It is not an inanimate object, not a pile of metal or paper devoid of soul. Money is spirit in motion, clothed in form for human use. It flows, it circulates, it listens, it feels, it responds to the consciousness that calls it forth, and it always returns to the vibration from which it came. When we look at money as mere currency, we see only the surface. But beneath that surface lies a living pulse, a rhythm that matches the heartbeat of the universe itself. Everything that exists is energy, and money is no exception. It is energy given shape, a physical reflection of our mental and spiritual relationship with abundance. Every thought we think about money sends out a vibration. These vibrations create a magnetic field around us, drawing to us experiences that match the quality of our inner dialogue. When we think of money with gratitude, reverence, and confidence, we tune our vibration to the frequency of abundance, and money flows to us naturally. When we think of it with fear, resentment, or guilt, we block its path, and it withdraws. for it will not remain where it is not respected or welcomed. The laws that govern energy are the same laws that govern money. Energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed. If we treat money as a living energy, we learn to transform our scarcity into sufficiency, our doubt into faith, our anxiety into calm assurance. The invisible world rules the visible one. Before money appears in the hand, it has already existed in the mind. Every fortune begins as an idea, every increase as a shift in consciousness. When a person aligns their thought with the idea that money is a friend, a willing servant of good, it begins to move in their direction through means both expected and unexpected. The universe rearranges itself to support the vibration that has been set in motion. Those who understand this truth never chase money, they attract it. They know that it is drawn by the magnet of belief, not by the struggle of effort. When you look at money and say, "You are divine energy in form," you awaken its responsiveness. You speak to the essence behind the symbol. You no longer see it as something separate from yourself, but as part of the same spiritual current that animates your life. In this recognition, fear dissolves, for how can one fear that which is part of their own divine flow? Money is not an enemy, nor a test, nor a temptation. It is energy seeking to express the divine law of circulation. It desires to move, to serve, to build, to bless. When it is held in fear, it stagnates. When it is used in love, it multiplies. Thought is creative substance. Every mental picture, every spoken word, every emotion charged with intention shapes the unseen energy around us. When we think, "Money is hard to get," we project resistance into the flow of supply. When we affirm, "Money flows to me easily and constantly," we open channels through which divine energy can reach us. The universe does not withhold, it only mirrors. Money, being energy, simply takes the shape of our dominant belief. It obeys the tone of our inner vibration. To master money is to master vibration. To master vibration is to master thought. Imagine two people standing side by side. One holds the belief that money is difficult, scarce, and must be chased. The other believes money is plentiful, cooperative, and joyfully responsive. Both live under the same economic conditions, the same world, the same opportunities. Yet their experiences will be vastly different, because one is in harmony with the energy of flow and the other is in discord. Money, as energy, gravitates toward harmony. It listens not to complaints or reasoning, but to vibration. It moves where it is invited, through love, gratitude, and purpose. Energy cannot lie. It vibrates at the frequency of truth. If you speak words of abundance but carry thoughts of doubt, the vibration of doubt will dominate, for the universe responds to feeling more than language. You cannot deceive money, for money is energy, and energy knows authenticity. It reads the unspoken tone of your heart. This is why it is vital to align emotion with affirmation, to feel wealthy, even when appearances suggest otherwise. Feelings are the language money understands best. Feel prosperity in the smallest blessings and greater ones will find you. Money mirrors consciousness. It does not make a person generous or greedy, it magnifies the energy already within them. If a person is fearful, more money often amplifies that fear. If one is loving and purposeful, more money magnifies their ability to bless and uplift others. Because it is energy, money must be directed consciously. When you see it as divine substance, you handle it with care and joy. You become a faithful steward of energy, allowing it to circulate freely without clinging or hoarding. You bless it as it comes in, and you bless it as it goes out, knowing it will return multiplied. To understand money as energy is to enter into a new relationship with it. No longer do you chase or control it. You harmonize with it. You learn to listen to the subtle movements of intuition, the divine guidance that whispers the next inspired action. The person who listens inwardly and acts in alignment with intuition moves with the current of abundance. They do not struggle, they attract. They do not plead, they command gently through faith. Money, like all energy, loves direction. It loves clarity, purpose, and certainty. It resists confusion and chaos. When you are clear about your purpose, your use of money, and your gratitude for it, you become a strong magnet in the field of supply. Everything vibrates, and vibration responds to vibration. Thought is the tuning fork that sets the rhythm of our experience. The vibration of lack calls for lack. The vibration of plenty calls for plenty. This is not superstition, but divine law in action. Just as music responds to tone, so does money respond to consciousness. When the heart is tuned to gratitude, when the mind is fixed on faith, when the tongue speaks words of abundance, the entire being becomes a harmonious instrument in the symphony of supply. Money flows naturally toward such harmony because it seeks its own likeness. Abundance calls to abundance. The more we understand that money is alive, the more we treat it with respect and awareness. We cease to speak of it in terms of worry or resentment. We no longer say, "I can't afford this," but instead, "I choose to use my money wisely, and more flows to me as I need it." Such language carries a higher vibration. It speaks from mastery rather than limitation. Money, being energy, gravitates toward mastery, for mastery is order and order is harmony. The universe always rewards harmony. To think of money as energy is to free ourselves from the bondage of material illusion. It shifts our perception from matter to spirit. It teaches us that supply is never external. It is the outpicturing of our inner state. The river of wealth flows through consciousness first, then through circumstances. When we recognize this, we stop struggling and start aligning. We no longer force money to come, we allow it to come. Allowing is the art of faith, the quiet assurance that energy responds to vibration without fail. Money is living energy that longs to be expressed through us for good. It is the song of exchange, the rhythm of giving and receiving, the dance between spirit and form. When we honor it as such, it becomes our companion, our instrument of blessing, our faithful reflection of divine abundance made visible. Words of lack repel money, words of faith attract it. Every syllable we utter carries a vibration, and that vibration sets in motion unseen forces that either draw abundance toward us or push it away. Words are not mere sounds, they are living forms of energy that shape the invisible substance of life. When we speak, we are commanding the universe, directing the flow of divine substance that responds faithfully to the tone of our declaration. If our words are colored by doubt, fear, or resentment, that same vibration reflects in our experience. If our words are filled with faith, joy, and expectancy, the vibration becomes magnetic, and everything that corresponds to abundance begins to gather around us. The power of the spoken word is the power of creation itself in action, for speech is thought made audible, and thought is the blueprint of all manifestation. When we say, "I can't afford this," "money never stays with me," or "everything is too expensive," we unknowingly affirm separation from abundance. Such words form barriers, invisible walls that money cannot pass through, because the vibration of lack and the vibration of supply cannot occupy the same space. The universe hears our every declaration and treats it as an order. It is not concerned with whether we are joking, complaining, or simply repeating what we think is true. It only mirrors what we affirm. The individual who constantly speaks of scarcity lives within that vibration, and life, being a faithful mirror, reflects scarcity back to them. On the other hand, the individual who speaks with faith, who declares with quiet certainty, "Money flows to me easily, I always have more than enough," or "Everything I spend returns to me multiplied," sends out a vibration that aligns with abundance itself. These words are creative seeds planted in the fertile soil of universal substance, and they will, in due time, bear fruit according to their kind. Faith-charged words magnetize the energy of money, because money is intelligent energy that listens to the tone of belief more than the logic of circumstance. When we speak from faith, we are speaking the language that the universe understands best. The law of vibration governs everything in existence. Every thought, word, and emotion emits a frequency. Lack and faith are simply two different frequencies. The moment you speak words of lack, you tune yourself to a frequency where abundance cannot reach you. It is as though you turn the dial of your inner receiver to a static channel that blocks out the music of prosperity. But when you speak words of faith, gratitude, and certainty, you tune yourself to the wavelength of supply, and the song of abundance plays through your life with effortless harmony. Words are the tuning fork of reality, and the sound they produce determines what kind of experience echoes back to you. Words of lack do not only repel money, they weaken the spirit. They drain creative power by affirming defeat before the divine law has even had the chance to work. They make the invisible forces of good stand still because they are spoken from disbelief. The person who constantly says, "It's too hard, I never get a break," or "I'm always behind," binds themselves with cords of their own making. These cords are not visible, but they are strong, woven from repeated affirmations of limitation. Each repetition deepens the groove of scarcity in the mind until it becomes habitual. To reverse this pattern, one must consciously choose new words, even before feeling their truth. One must begin to speak faith until faith becomes natural. Say, "Everything I need comes to me in perfect time and order." Say, "Money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways." Say, "Divine supply is unlimited and I am aligned with it." These are not idle phrases. They are spiritual commands that shift the vibration of your life. The moment you begin to speak them with sincerity and repetition, the energy around you begins to reorganize itself in accordance with your new vibration. Words of faith are words of power. They do not beg, plead, or hope, they declare. They speak from knowing rather than wanting. When we say, "I am prosperous," we are not pretending. We are aligning with the truth that prosperity already exists in the realm of spirit, waiting to manifest. Faith does not concern itself with how or when, it only affirms what is true. Words spoken with faith carry authority because they are in harmony with divine law. They do not strain, they resonate. Money, being energy, feels the difference between the vibration of need and the vibration of faith. Need says, "I do not have," and thus declares separation. Faith says, "It is already mine," and thus creates unity. The law of attraction, or more accurately, the law of vibration, brings to us not what we want, but what we believe and speak into being. This is why it is essential to guard our words as sacred instruments of creation. Every careless word of complaint, every casual statement of lack, sends a ripple through the substance of life that eventually returns as experience. To speak faith in the midst of apparent lack is the highest form of spiritual mastery. It is to acknowledge that spirit, not matter, is the true source of supply. The one who can say, "I am provided for," even when the purse seems empty, has already turned the key in the lock of abundance. For faith is the invisible currency that precedes the visible one. The universe cannot deny a vibration of unwavering faith. Words charged with such certainty open channels where there were none, awaken dormant opportunities, and summon the cooperation of unseen forces. Every word is a decree. When you say, "I am broke," the creative energy of the universe obeys. When you say, "I am prosperous," it obeys just as faithfully. There is no partiality in divine law. It only mirrors. If we desire abundance, we must speak abundance. If we wish for flow, we must speak flow. Words must become tools of conscious creation rather than weapons of self-sabotage. The tongue can bless or bind, attract or repel, uplift or diminish. Each sentence we utter either builds a bridge to wealth or erects a wall against it. Faithful words create movement. They stir the stagnant energy of fear and set it into circulation. When you speak words like, "Money flows to me now," "I am open to divine increase," or "I am worthy of all good," you are not merely talking, you are commanding energy to align. And energy always obeys its commander when the command is clear, confident, and charged with emotion. Feeling is the fuel of creation. Without emotion, words are empty shells. With emotion, they are living decrees. To speak with faith is to feel the truth of your words vibrating in your heart before they are seen by the eyes. Words of lack are rooted in fear, and fear is the great separator. It tells us that supply is limited, that life is uncertain, that we must grasp, hoard, or chase what little we can. But faith knows that the universe is abundant beyond measure, that supply is infinite and ever-flowing, that money is only one form of the divine circulation of good. When we speak from fear, we close the door to that circulation. When we speak from faith, we open it wide. Every word becomes a key, and every key either locks or unlocks the treasury of the universe. It is not enough to think abundance, one must speak it. Thought sets the pattern, but speech gives it form. The spoken word carries vibration through the air, setting off waves that move through the field of energy around us. These waves attract matching frequencies, drawing to us people, opportunities, and experiences that resonate with the tone we have sent out. The person who continually says, "I always receive what I need," will, over time, live in the rhythm of that truth. The person who says, "Nothing ever works out for me," will find their words faithfully echoed in their affairs. Therefore, the wise one speaks carefully, knowing that each word carries weight and power. They refuse to speak lack, even in jest, for they understand that the law of vibration does not recognize humor, it only recognizes frequency. They train their speech to align with abundance until it becomes second nature. Eventually, their words and their reality move in perfect harmony, for what is spoken in faith must manifest, and what is spoken in lack must fade away. Speak to money with love, confidence, and gratitude, for money, like all divine energy, responds to the tone of the heart, more than the sound of the lips. When you speak to it with love, it feels welcomed. When you speak to it with fear or resentment, it withdraws. Love is the highest vibration in the universe, and whatever is spoken in love carries creative power. When you say to your money, "You are my faithful servant," and mean it, you align yourself with the current of abundance. You remove the tension of struggle and open the channel through which supply flows freely. Money desires to be treated as a friend, not as an enemy or a stranger. It longs to be acknowledged, appreciated, and given purpose. Love gives life to every energy, and money, being energy, comes alive under the warmth of love's vibration. Confidence is faith expressed through tone and thought. When you speak to money with confidence, you declare your dominion as a co-creator with divine intelligence. You do not plead or beg for it to come. You summon it with calm assurance, knowing it hears your voice. The one who speaks to money with doubt and apology sends mixed signals to the universe. Money feels the vibration of hesitation and stays away, for it cannot dwell in confusion. But when you speak with confidence, your vibration is steady, clear, and magnetic. You say, "Money, you know me. You recognize my vibration. You flow to me from all directions, easily and harmoniously." Such words carry authority because they are backed by the knowing that divine substance is unlimited and obedient to faith. Gratitude completes the trinity of vibration that draws supply. When you are grateful for what you already have, you create a magnetic field of increase. Gratitude is acknowledgement of divine order, a signal to the universe that you recognize abundance as already present. Money responds to gratitude the way a flower responds to sunlight. It unfolds, multiplies, and continues to grow. When you bless every dollar that comes into your hand, you are saying to the universe, "I am ready for more." When you bless every bill you pay, you say, "I am grateful that I can give." Gratitude transforms every transaction into a spiritual exchange. It changes money from a symbol of worry into a channel of joy. When you speak to money with love, confidence, and gratitude, you create harmony between yourself and the flow of supply. Money becomes your ally, not your master. It becomes a tool through which divine abundance expresses itself. The person who loves money, rightly, not for greed but for its power to serve good, never lacks. Love recognizes the sacredness of all creation, including the energy we call money. To speak lovingly to it is to honor the divine intelligence that formed it. When you say, "Money," you are divine substance in motion, and I welcome you joyfully. You call it forth from the unseen with dignity. The words you speak form a bridge between the invisible and the visible, allowing supply to cross effortlessly into your experience. Love dissolves resistance. Many people repel money without realizing it because they associate it with guilt, shame, or corruption. They have been taught to believe that wealth and spirituality cannot coexist, that money is worldly and dangerous. These thoughts create an inner conflict that keeps abundance at bay. But love heals this conflict. When you speak to money with love, you purify its vibration within your consciousness. You begin to see it not as evil or selfish, but as energy that can bless, uplift, and create beauty. Love sanctifies money, transforming it from a symbol of materialism into an instrument of divine service. Confidence is born from the awareness that you and the universe are one. You cannot truly be confident if you believe in separation, for separation breeds fear. When you realize that money is part of the same divine energy that breathes through you, confidence becomes natural. You know that the flow of supply cannot be interrupted except by your own disbelief. Speaking to money with confidence is not arrogance, it is recognition of spiritual law. You are not commanding money as an inferior, you are directing energy as a co-creator. The tone of your voice, the certainty in your heart, and the conviction in your thought tell money where to go and how to serve. Gratitude amplifies confidence. When you give thanks for every form of supply, visible and invisible, you affirm your faith in the continuity of abundance. Gratitude removes the vibration of need because it declares that the good you desire is already yours. The grateful person never waits to see results before giving thanks. They give thanks first, and results follow. When you bless your money with gratitude, you infuse it with the energy of joy, and that joy multiplies as it circulates. Money that is blessed carries your vibration wherever it goes, attracting more of its kind back to you. Gratitude turns every exchange into a cycle of increase. To speak to money with love is to soften the energy around it. To speak with confidence is to command it. To speak with gratitude is to multiply it. Together, these vibrations create a sacred partnership between you and the divine flow of wealth. You are no longer chasing money, you are dancing with it. You are no longer anxious about where it comes from, you are certain that it comes from the inexhaustible source of good that sustains all life. Love keeps the channel open. Confidence directs the flow. Gratitude accelerates its return. Money listens to the tone of your vibration, not merely the words you say. You could repeat affirmations for hours, but if your heart is heavy with fear, your words will fall flat. But if you speak only a few sentences filled with love, assurance, and appreciation, those words will carry power. They will ripple through the unseen substance of supply and return as visible prosperity. Love charges words with life. Confidence anchors them in authority. Gratitude sends them forth like arrows of light, sure and swift in their aim. When you look at money, whether it is a coin, a note, or a balance on a screen, speak to it as you would to a trusted companion. Say, "I am grateful for your presence. I know you serve good and circulate freely. You flow to me easily and return multiplied as I give." These words create a vibration of mutual respect between you and money. They lift you out of the consciousness of lack and place you in the rhythm of divine exchange. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes, until your entire being resonates with abundance. Love removes fear of loss. Confidence removes doubt of ability. Gratitude removes blindness to blessings. When these three qualities are combined in speech, the energy of money becomes harmonious and responsive. It will not resist you, for resistance cannot exist in the presence of love. It will not delay, for confidence removes uncertainty. It will not diminish, for gratitude keeps it multiplying. The laws of spirit are exact. They respond to vibration, not appearance. Speak with love, and the vibration of harmony is set. Speak with confidence, and the vibration of faith is established. Speak with gratitude, and the vibration of increase is activated. Each time you handle money, whether giving or receiving, bless it silently. Speak words of kindness to it. Thank it for the comfort it brings, the opportunities it opens, the good it allows you to create. The energy you send to it will return. The more lovingly you speak to it, the more lovingly it will respond. Love magnetizes. Confidence stabilizes. Gratitude multiplies. Through this trinity, the flow of abundance becomes effortless, natural, and continuous. Because divine energy always responds to those who recognize its sacred nature and speak to it as a friend. Money serves divine purpose when used with wisdom. It is a living stream of energy that flows through human hands, carrying the imprint of intention wherever it goes. When handled with wisdom, it becomes a servant of light, creating harmony, beauty, and progress. When handled without understanding, it becomes tangled in fear, waste, and misuse. The essence of wisdom is alignment with divine order. The recognition that money is not to be hoarded, feared, or idolized, but to be directed, with clarity and love, toward purposeful expression. Money itself has no morality. It takes on the vibration of the one who wields it. In the hands of the wise, it builds. In the hands of the unwise, it stagnates or destroys. Thus, to understand money's divine purpose is to understand our own purpose as co-creators in the divine plan. Money was never meant to enslave humanity. It was meant to serve as a channel of exchange, a symbol of faith and cooperation between souls. Its true function is circulation. Just as blood nourishes the body through its constant movement, so money nourishes the world through its continuous flow. When it is blocked by fear, greed, or misuse, spiritual stagnation follows. When it is guided by wisdom, it fulfills its divine assignment, uplifting, expanding, and creating. Wisdom sees money not as an end, but as a means, a bridge between the invisible idea and its visible manifestation. Through wise use of money, we give substance to inspiration. The artist, the teacher, the builder, the healer. Each uses money as an instrument through which the divine expresses form. Wisdom begins with understanding the law of balance. To give and receive are two sides of the same rhythm. The wise person knows that money must be circulated with joy and purpose, not with fear of loss. Every act of giving sends out a vibration that must return. When we give wisely, in ways that uplift, expand, and bless, we enter into harmony with divine circulation. When we spend with resentment or give with obligation, we interrupt the rhythm of flow. Money responds not to the outer act, but to the inner vibration behind it. The person who gives in love always multiplies. The one who gives in fear always diminishes. Wisdom teaches that money is never truly lost or gained. It only changes form in the divine economy of energy. To use money wisely is to let it reflect divine intention. Wisdom asks before every exchange, does this serve truth? Does it uplift life? Does it expand beauty, peace, or joy? When the answer is yes, the vibration of that act harmonizes with abundance. The money spent or given in such alignment carries a blessing that returns multiplied. But when money is used without consciousness, to satisfy ego, to dominate, to escape, it loses its sacred frequency and becomes entangled in the lower vibrations of fear. Wisdom purifies intention, ensuring that every financial act becomes a spiritual one. Money is divine energy clothed in form, and wisdom recognizes its sacredness. Just as one would not misuse fire but instead harness it for warmth and creation, so must money be respected as a powerful force requiring discernment. When guided by wisdom, money becomes a builder of dreams, a healer of wounds, a messenger of good. It creates opportunities, sustains visions, and spreads comfort. But when ruled by ignorance or selfish desire, it burns away harmony and leaves emptiness in its wake. Thus, wisdom directs while folly reacts. Wisdom channels while fear hoards. The one who uses money wisely walks in peace, for they know that true security lies not in accumulation, but in alignment. The wise understand that money magnifies what already exists within consciousness. It does not change character, it reveals it. If love, generosity, and purpose dwell within, money will amplify them. If greed, fear, or insecurity dominate, money will amplify that as well. This is why wisdom is essential before increase. Without wisdom, abundance becomes a burden. With wisdom, abundance becomes a blessing. To prepare for divine prosperity, one must cultivate inner order. The mind must be trained to think clearly, the emotions to remain steady, and the intentions to be pure. When this inner alignment is achieved, the flow of money becomes natural, effortless, and beneficial to all it touches. Money used with wisdom always serves others while serving oneself. It is not selfish to prosper, for prosperity in the hands of the wise uplifts all. The wise person understands that to hoard wealth is to dam the river of life. Money must circulate, it must move and serve. The more wisely it is directed, the more abundantly it flows. Wisdom therefore teaches generosity, but not waste. Planning, but not fear. Stewardship, but not bondage. Every dollar becomes a seed. The wise plant it where it will grow and multiply good, in education, in creation, in compassion, in vision. The divine purpose of money is expansion, of joy, beauty, knowledge, and service. When you use money to create harmony, you align with universal law. When you use it to separate, dominate, or exploit, you move out of rhythm with that law. Wisdom is the inner compass that keeps you aligned. It whispers, spend here, give here, save here, refrain here, not from fear, but from insight. It sees beyond impulse and listens to divine intuition. Those who are guided by such wisdom find that money always arrives in right measure and at the right time. They live in peace, for their wealth is not their master, but their instrument. To use money wisely is also to honor its presence. Keep it in order, treat it respectfully, and manage it with clarity. Disorder in the physical handling of money reflects disorder in consciousness. The wise maintain harmony in their finances as a reflection of their inner alignment. They give thanks for every form of supply, no matter how small, and handle it with the same care they would give to something sacred. For money, when blessed and respected, responds with loyalty. It stays where it is appreciated and departs where it is mistreated. Wisdom also knows that money's purpose is not only to fulfill personal comfort, but to expand collective good. The truly wise understand that they are stewards of divine energy, not owners of it. To hoard for the sake of fear is to deny the law of circulation. To give without discernment is to waste. But to invest, to build, to support, to uplift. These are acts of wisdom that multiply good for all. When money moves under such guidance, it creates ripples of prosperity that touch many lives. It becomes part of a larger rhythm, one that reflects the divine order of the universe. There is no virtue in poverty and no sin in wealth. Both are conditions created by consciousness. The wise understand that abundance is natural, for the universe itself is abundant. They also understand that money, like breath, must flow. To inhale and never exhale would suffocate. To exhale without inhaling would exhaust. Wisdom keeps the rhythm balanced, giving and receiving in equal measure, circulating freely without fear of lack. This rhythm sustains prosperity and peace. Wisdom also protects against misuse. It reminds us that money must never control the spirit or become the measure of worth. When it is used as a tool rather than a master, it remains in harmony with divine law. The wise are detached yet responsible. They enjoy money without dependence, give it without regret, and use it without fear. Their relationship with money is governed by calm awareness rather than emotional impulse. Through this balance, they remain open channels for divine abundance, allowing money to fulfill its true purpose as a servant of good. Money serves divine purpose when used with wisdom, for wisdom keeps it aligned with love, guided by order, and filled with meaning. When we become conscious stewards of this energy, We transform every exchange into an act of creation. We bless as we receive, we uplift as we spend, and we multiply as we give. In this way, money fulfills its sacred role as the current of divine substance flowing through human life, forever responding to the mind and heart that guide it with wisdom and faith. What we honor and bless multiplies. The law of life is increase, and the key that unlocks that increase is honor. Whatever we appreciate expands, whatever we take for granted diminishes. To honor something is to recognize its divine essence, to see it not as ordinary or mundane but as sacred energy expressing through form. Money, relationships, opportunities, health, or talents all respond to the vibration of honor. When we bless them with gratitude and speak to them with appreciation, they flourish. When we ignore, complain about, or condemn them, they retreat from our experience. Honor is the vibration of respect, and respect opens the channels of abundance. Blessing is the language of gratitude, and gratitude magnetizes increase. Together, they form the spiritual formula for multiplication. When you bless your money, you multiply its energy. When you bless your work expands in value and success. When you bless your home, it becomes a sanctuary of peace. The act of blessing lifts the vibration of any situation or object to its divine potential. It is a silent prayer that says, "I see the good in you. I acknowledge the presence of divine substance here." The universe always responds to recognition. To bless is to call forth the hidden good. Even when appearances suggest lack, struggle, or limitation, blessing transforms the unseen substance behind them. What you bless, you empower. What you curse, you weaken. Words of blessing release creative energy. Words of complaint release resistance. Honor is not mere politeness. It is spiritual understanding in action. It means seeing through the outer shell to the inner reality. To honor money is not to worship it, but to treat it as divine energy clothed in form. To honor your body is not vanity, but gratitude to the divine life that animates it. To honor your work is not pride, but recognition of your role as a co-creator with spirit. Honor sanctifies everything it touches, because it lifts perception from the level of ego to the level of truth. When we honor something, we give it permission to express more of its divine nature. The vibration of honor says to the universe, "I am aware of your perfection here," and the universe answers by unfolding more perfection. Many people repel abundance because they do not honor what they already have. They complain about their income, criticize their possessions, or resent their circumstances. In doing so, they unknowingly affirm lack. The law of multiplication cannot operate in an atmosphere of criticism. Blessing and complaint cannot coexist, for they are opposite vibrations. The one who constantly blesses increases. The one who constantly complains decreases. If you bless the money in your wallet, no matter how small, it feels your appreciation and calls its companions to join it. If you bless the food on your table, it seems to stretch further and nourish more deeply. The act of blessing transforms perception, and perception shapes experience. To bless something is to align yourself with divine order. It is to declare that good is present even when it is not yet visible. Every blessing is an act of faith. It says, "I know that the substance of good is here, waiting to unfold." This recognition opens the spiritual gate through which increase flows. Blessing is not an empty ritual. It is a powerful vibration that rearranges the invisible pattern of energy around you. When you bless money, work, people, or situations, you pour divine light upon them, and that light magnetizes new forms of prosperity and peace. Honor begins in the heart. It is a feeling of reverence for the divine presence in all things. The one who lives in honor walks in harmony with life. They see no division between the spiritual and the material, for they know that spirit expresses through all. To honor is to treat everything with respect: time, words, people, possessions. When we handle things carelessly, we send a vibration of disregard into the universe. and the universe mirrors it. When we treat even the smallest coin with mindfulness, we affirm order, and order attracts increase. Honor is also a recognition of relationship. Nothing exists in isolation. Every blessing we receive is part of a greater circulation of good. When we honor this circulation, we stay within the rhythm of abundance. When we dishonor it, by greed, neglect, or misuse, we fall out of rhythm and flow is interrupted. To honor money, we must allow it to move freely. To honor others, we must recognize their divine worth. To honor ourselves, we must remember that we are expressions of the same infinite source. The vibration of honor harmonizes all relationships, for it restores the awareness of unity. Blessing is the active form of honor. When we bless something, we consciously release the energy of love and gratitude toward it. Blessing does not wait for perfection, it calls perfection forth. To bless an empty wallet is to affirm the presence of invisible supply. To bless a difficult situation is to summon divine resolution. To bless someone who has wronged you is to free yourself from the vibration of resentment. Blessing heals by transforming energy. It is the language of the soul that speaks directly to spirit, bypassing limitation and calling forth increase. When you honor and bless consistently, you begin to see multiplication in every area of life. Money seems to flow more freely, opportunities appear effortlessly, relationships become harmonious. This is not coincidence but law. The universe always multiplies the vibration you send out. Blessing money makes it circulate and return. Blessing time expands it. Blessing relationships deepens them. Whatever you bless takes on new vitality. The vibration of blessing carries the frequency of divine love, and love is the greatest multiplier of all. To live in a state of blessing is to live in continuous prayer. Every act becomes sacred when performed with gratitude and awareness. When you clean your home, bless it. When you work, bless your labor and those it serves. When you rest, bless your body for its strength. When you receive money, bless it for its usefulness. When you spend, bless the exchange for enriching both giver and receiver. Each blessing is a seed, and seeds planted in love must yield increase. The law of life cannot be broken. What we honor and bless multiplies. Those who understand this law never fear loss. They know that no good can leave them, for blessing ensures return. When you bless something before releasing it, you set its energy into motion with love, and love must come back multiplied. To release with blessing is to trust divine circulation. You may bless a debt as you pay it, saying, "I bless this payment and release it into divine order," knowing it returns multiplied as supply. You may bless those who prosper, knowing that their increase signals the same law at work for you. Every blessing, spoken in sincerity, raises your vibration and expands your field of abundance. Honor and blessing together form the magnetic field of prosperity. They dissolve envy, fear, and resentment, the great blockers of flow. They replace comparison with appreciation and competition with cooperation. The heart that blesses sees beauty everywhere, and beauty responds by revealing more of itself. The mind that honors the divine in all things lives in peace, and peace draws prosperity as its reflection. Blessing creates movement. Honor sustains it. The principle is simple, but its application requires mindfulness. We must train ourselves to bless rather than complain, to appreciate rather than criticize, to recognize good rather than search for fault. This is the work of conscious creation. It is not about denying challenges, but about choosing to see divine potential in all things. The moment we bless, we shift our vibration from resistance to allowance. The moment we honor, we move from separation to unity. In that vibration, multiplication becomes natural. Every blessing is a statement of power. It says, "I am aware that divine substance surrounds me and I call it forth now." Every act of honor affirms alignment with divine law. The universe, in its perfect justice, reflects that vibration without fail. To honor and bless is to live in continual harmony with the current of life. What we honor grows in strength. What we bless returns in greater measure. What we appreciate becomes radiant. The world itself responds to honor and blessing, for these are the language of spirit speaking through the heart of creation.